You know, people just don't understand how tough this life is. People ask me then, why do it? Simple. I want to be the best in boxing. Follow Best in Boxing on YouTube, where the future stars of boxing fight.
From the legendary boxing town of Tijuana, Baja California, this is a legendary place where everybody's tough. The cab drivers are tough. The food is tough. The doctors are tough. The beaches are tough. Everything is tough because this is a fighting town. And we're here at the Big Bunch Arena where Best in Boxing and Fight Hub TV present to you a great night of boxing. Some of these young fighters that are coming here chasing a dream. And that's where we're going to have a chance to go ahead and bring you those fights, much to your enjoyment. I'm Ben Ricardo. With me, a delight to have me with me, longtime featherweight contender, Christopher Martin. And Christopher, bring me back to some of the memories when you first got started in boxing.
Well, this is going to be a big event for each fighter here tonight. They're excited to perform in front of their hometown fans, but nonetheless, they have a worldwide audience with Fight Hub TV.
And you know they're going to be coming from all over the country as well, from the state of Washington, from Stockton, California. Some will be making their pro debut. Some are actually chasing their very first title. So we're going to have a plethora of great, great fights for you tonight. So don't go anywhere. We've got a great night of boxing planned out for you tonight.
Damas y... Sí, 2, 3, sí. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Damas y caballeros, esta es la tercera llamada. ¡Comenzamos! Y a nombre de Boriseca Boxing Promotions, la mejor empresa binacional Baja California y California, les damos la más cordial bienvenida desde ahora lo que es la nueva casa de Boriseca Boxing, la Big Punch Arena en la frontera más visitada del mundo, Tijuana, Baja California, México. Esta velada boxística es sancionada a ustedes por la Honorable Comisión de Box, Lucha Libre y Artes Marciales Mixtas de esta ciudad de Tijuana, el presidente Alberto Martínez, comisionado de boxeo Juan Manuel Cardona, el jefe de servicios médicos, el doctor Ernesto Franco, al frente del tiempo César Fernández, sus 3 jueces, your 3 judges scoring this bout in ringside, Ángel Viedas, Iván Velasco y Jesús González. And your referee in charge of the action, su referee para este combate, el profesor Fernando Rentería. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for 4 rounds of boxing in the super featherweight division. 4 rounds de combate en la división de peso super pluma. Introducing the fighter standing in the blue corner, wearing black trunks with white and gold. He officially weighs in at 130 pounds. Presentando ustedes en la esquina azul, vistiendo pantaloncillo color negro con blanco y oro, con un peso de 134 libras. In his professional campaign, he stands with a record of 2 wins against 4 losses. Presenta un récord profesional de 2 victorias por 4 derrotas, representando su natal Tijuana, Baja California. Javier Miranda. And his opponent standing across the ring in the red corner, wearing black and white. His official weight, 130 pounds. Y su rival en la esquina roja, vistiendo pantaloncillo negro con blanco, con un peso idéntico de 130 libras. And tonight, making his pro debut, haciendo esta noche su debut profesional de Portland, Oregon, y representando House of Boxing, San Diego, California, USA. Eric Estrada. And here is with the final instructions. Para dar las indicaciones finales, su referee, el profesor Fernando Rentería. 4 rounds.
Estas son las indicaciones, muchachos. Vamos a hacer una pelea limpia. No cabezazos, no golpes en la nuca, no golpes en la espalda ni abajo del cinturón. Vamos a cuidar en todo momento y atentos a las indicaciones. Choquen guantes, suerte, ganen mejor.
The final instructions right there by your referee, and we are ready. This is going to be Eric Estrada, and he has got on both fighters have the black and the white trunks, and if we can distinguish it right there, the black Eric Estrada is going to have the blue, red, white, and blue shoes, whereas Javier Miranda is going to be all black. Round number 1. Eric Estrada making his pro debut from Portland, Oregon, 35 fights as an amateur, and of course, Christopher, I mean, that's a huge difference in scoring when you go from the amateur to the professional ranks.
Yeah, definitely, Benny. And we see it right there. It's power punches.
Estrada loading up. Eric Estrada, no relation to Chips, the famous California Highway Patrol. Eric Estrada, but I tell you what, he packs a wicked punch. We'll get a replay on this wicked left hand that was right on the money against Javier Miranda from Tijuana, Baja California. What a pro debut, huh? First round, makes it easy.
Absolutely, that's what you want. You make the long trip, and first round knockout, he couldn't ask for anything better than this.
Definitely showing a wicked, wicked punch right there. Tremendous leverage when he got inside and really delivered. And you know, so much of boxing, Christopher, is managing that space. And it definitely, you know, when you're going to load up on a punch like that, I thought that's something that Estrada was very calm. And I think right off the bat, he hurt Javier Miranda.
Yeah, definitely. He measured him well. Like you said, the space, he measured the distance well, and he was able to connect with that shot.
Best in Boxing bringing this great night of boxing here tonight. The place is called the Big Punch Arena in Tijuana, Baja California. It's on the west side of Tijuana. And it's a beautiful venue. And they want to make this the mecca of boxing where they'll get a chance to bring in a little bit of everybody. And you know, Christopher, I mean, I got to see you in a couple of these fights down here in Tijuana where you come down here. And I mean, just like, you know, a comedian needs stage time, a boxer needs ring time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Here, it's, let's say, the club level, Benny, that where we're at here. And that's what a boxer needs. He needs to step it up little by little. He's for his next fight, Eric Estrada is definitely going to step up his game in opponent. But this is where we're at now, is basically club level fighters.
So all the way from Portland, Oregon, where you're seeing a tremendous rise in boxing in that area. I got to do some bare knuckle fighting, and there was a bare knuckle fighter from there that had been an MMA fighter, and he was telling me about the abundance of gyms that exists up there. Pablo Flores, our ring announcer, is going to give us the official time of this first knockout. Eric Estrada very happy with his contingent that came down all the way from Portland, Oregon for this fight. And the young man, that's the inexperience he is. He was going to lead before the referee raising his hand.
Damas y caballeros, este combate llega a su fin con un tiempo de 46 segundos. En el primer asalto, we have the official time at 46 seconds coming into the very first round. Declaring the winner by the way of KO victory. Declarando su ganador por la vía del knockout y su primera victoria profesional, Eric Estrada.
And there you have it. Your winner, Eric Estrada, with very successful pro debut, getting the knockout win. So the beautiful venue here for boxing, it is called the Big Punch Arena. And the Big Punch Arena is going to be holding a lot of fights here. It is perfectly situated in Tijuana, in an area where it is accessible and people can come down here and enjoy global sports treating, presenting the best in boxing. And boy, take down your notes, folks. Keep the name of some of these guys, and you're going to see these guys in the future. And I remember watching Christopher Martin at the 4 Points by Sheraton, starting out on the Bobby D fights down there, and then next thing you know, I see you fighting in Minnesota and producing a great upset up on that ESPN card.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought that was a tremendous performance you put on under adverse conditions. You were not the favorite there.
Yeah, absolutely was not the favorite. Back in 2010, I believe, against Chris Avalos. And let me correct you, Benny, it was a Showtime event. And Chris Avalos was 16-0. I was 18-0. We were going heads up. And like you said, I was not the favorite, but we came out victorious.
But, you know, that's what sports is all about, Christopher. It's making the best of every opportunity presented to you. And certainly that was your chance there, because you never know when you're going to get another chance. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, definitely. At that point, I wanted to succeed. I had the right frame of mind, the right training, and I was ready for that fight a little bit more than Chris Avalos that day.
So that's something to go ahead and make a note about if you want to make a career in this business, the sweet science, the hurt business. You got to be ready, and that's you can't do enough training. And so oftentimes what happens is off of that training is where you end up reaping the benefits from that, because you end up training and you put that work into it, and then the fight becomes the easy part, right?
Definitely, that's what you want. You lay the groundwork in the training and everything here. Once you're able to execute in the ring, I mean, it's great because you put in that groundwork in the training camp.
Exactly. Our fighters for the next fighter are already in, so we are ready for the second one. And these are going to be guys. These guys are light heavyweights. Light heavyweights. Jose de la Torre taking on Julio Alcantar. Aladir Alvarez, the new king of the light heavyweight division, with his upset of Kovalov. I got to do a lot of Aladir Alvarez's fights up at the Bell Center in Montreal. And boy, when he got the opportunity against Kovalov, he showed it.
Hey, he definitely did show it. And me, you said you've seen him before, but me was the first time I've ever seen him fight, and it was a great showing.
So we are ready for the official announcement from our ring announcer, Pablo Flores.
Sí, dos. Damas y caballeros, Boristeca Boxing Promotions presenta este encuentro pactado a 4 rounds en la división de peso semi-completo. Ladies and gentlemen, 4 rounds of boxing in the light heavyweight division. Your 3 judges scoring this bout in ringside. Sus 3 jueces: Jesús González, Iván Velasco y Ángel Viedas. And your referee in charge of the action, su referee, el profesor Fernando Rentería. Introducing to you first the fighter standing in the blue corner, wearing red trunks with white trim. He officially weighs in at 175 pounds. Presentando ustedes en la esquina azul, vistiendo pantaloncillo color rojo con blanco, con un peso de 175 libras. He stands with 7 professional bouts. Cuenta con 7 combates profesionales del barrio Bravo del Florido en Tijuana. Julio Alcantar. And his opponent is standing across the ring in the red corner, wearing white and red. He officially weighs in at 175 pounds. Y su rival en la esquina roja, vistiendo pantaloncillo blanco con rojo, con un peso idéntico de 175 libras. And tonight, making his pro debut, haciendo su debut profesional, from Los Angeles, California, USA, Jose el Bravo de la Torre. And here is your referee with the final instructions, con las indicaciones finales, su referee, el profesor Fernando Rentería.
¿Listos? Ok, listos. Vamos a hacer una pelea limpia. No cabezazos, no golpes en la nuca, no en la espalda ni bajo el cinturón. Se cuiden en todo momento. Choquen guantes, suerte, gana el mejor.
So we are ready for our next battle. It is going to be in the light heavyweight division. Your principals in the ring. They are Julio Alcantara. He's going to be wearing the red trunks. The taller Jose de la Torre is making his pro debut from Los Angeles, California. He is going to be wearing the white trunks with the red stripe and the red belt. De la Torre. He's got Arnold Banzaba, Jesus Lopez. Only 5 amateur fights for De La Torre. Julio Alcantara, on the other hand, what you're going to get out of this guy's a brawler. He's going to bring it, he's got a big punch, and he wants to use it.
Yeah, Benny, those were his terms, though, as far as him saying that he had a big punch. Definitely the record, 1-5, does not say it, that he does have a big punch.
The referee getting in between him as he pushed him right there. Julio Alcantara, you can tell he's not a very disciplined type of fighter. He's a little bit wild. Now, as a fighter right here, Christopher, I mean, you got to keep your composure and just manage that space when you get a wild one like Julio Alcantara.
Yeah, De La Torre just has to do what you just said, is just manage his space. You got a guy throwing rocks pretty much. You just have to keep your distance, measure him, and just time him with a good punch.
Aggression and anticipation, contact and counter. That's what you want to do?
Yeah, basically that's all you want to do is counter those wild shots from Alcantara.
Both fighters appear gassed already.
Alcantara definitely seems the worst of it, throwing those big shots. Maybe he came in knowing that he's not in the best of shape, and he tried to get his opponent out early.
I told you folks are going to bring it, and that's what they're going to do. These guys are all about launching that leather repeatedly.
And that was a good shot to the body by De La Torre.
De La Torre fighting as a southpaw, trying to get in that straight right. Now he switches over. See now, Christopher, give me your thoughts on that. A fighter that changes from southpaw to conventional. Don't you think it slows him down when he switches to southpaw?
Well, the best example is Crawford right now, one of the pound-for-pound kings. You know, some guys can do it well, some can't. We'll see if
Jacobs does it well too.
As well, yeah, Jacobs as well.
And now all of a sudden De La Torre seems to get his second win, loading up on those shots.
And I think De La Torre does better work in the orthodox.
One of the best I've seen at switching back and forth was Giovanni Segura. Giovanni Segura kind of fought in an arrow, kind of in a triangle, so you couldn't really tell.
Yeah, he definitely had a lot of success. Not the most gifted boxer per se, but his awkwardness, his toughness made Giovanni Segura very, very good.
Okay, so I'm going to have Christopher now be my judge. How do you score that one?
Oh, definitely in the first round, I give to De La Torre. Even though Alcantara came out a little aggressive, throwing those wild looping shots, I think De La Torre did a better job of sitting in the pocket and landing his shots, crisper shots.
Let's take a look at some of the action here in round number 1. And you take it here, Christopher.
Well, here we go with De La Torre making Alcantara miss, and I believe in between those shots, at one point De La Torre was able to throw in the middle to the body.
Well, I told you Alcantara was going to be aggressive, and he sure was that. He practically sent him an email, let him know I'm going to throw this right hand, and there it was. Contact and counter, aggression, anticipation, that's what it's all about. So let's see here. Jose de la Torre, he's got the white trunks on. Julio Alcantara in the red trunks. De la Torre, I think he's so much better when he stays as a right-hander, because throw that left like he did there.
Yeah, he's best off. De La Torre is in the orthodox position.
And those are all big, wide arm punches on the part of Julio Alcantar.
And he said in the fighter meeting that his best shot was the overhand right. And that's pretty much all he's throwing.
But if you're going to train somebody like Alcantar, what would you do with him, Christopher?
There's really not much you could do with somebody like that, but he simply needs to just go to basics because he really has no basics. He's just throwing street fight punches.
And you know, they appear to have tremendous power on it, those wide shots, but in actuality, they don't.
It does
explain
not.
to me why all of a sudden they don't have that much.
Well, because there's no real leverage behind it, Benny, and no fundamentals does Alcantar have, so those shots aren't effective. They look nice, but they're not effective.
All of a sudden, De La Torre now is mounting a body attack against Julio Alcantar in the red trunks.
That might be a first for me. Alcantar put both his hands and rested him on his knees.
Alcantar, he got a shot to the, and I think that was a thumb, and that's it. Referee stepping right in. We saw that Alcantar was not going to be able to do much. Rather wild. They were wide shots. Better to fight another day.
Yeah, De La Torre caught him with a good shot, but I believe the referee stepped in a little bit too early. Everyone here at the Big Punch Arena, we want to see blood. That's what we come to see, but the referee had something else in mind.
And you know, I never criticize that part as far as for the officials, because again, I have the utmost respect for anybody willing to step into that ring. So if they can fight another day, so be it. Because I'll never forget, one of the first fights I saw was growing up was a fight between Benny Kid Pared and Emil Griffin. And that one was where the reputation of a fighter hurt him. And here we have it. You can see the action right there in the corner. De La Torre just battering Alcantar.
And it's going to be a long left hook. Actually, it was a right hand, my bad. But he wobbled. The ref saw it. And you're right, Benny. We're here. The ref is here for the safety of the fighters.
Exactly. Better to see him fight another day than stop it too late. And I think the referees do a great job here. And especially like here in Tijuana, a lot of these guys are doctors. They're medical doctors that also serve as referees. They have the tremendous passion for the sport of boxing. And they come out here and again, like you said, the safety of the fighters. So here's Pablo Flores with the official announcement of the time in the second round of the stoppage.
Damas y caballeros, este combate llega a su fin con un tiempo de 1 minuto 25 segundos en el segundo asalto. We have the official time of 1 minute 25 seconds in round number 2. Declaring the winner by the way of TKO. Su ganador por la vía del knockout técnico de Los Ángeles, California, José el Bravo de la Torre.
And there you have the official time, 1 minute 25 seconds of round number 2. Jose de la Torre, in a very, very successful pro debut, gets a stoppage of Julio Alcantar, the big brawler from Tijuana, Baja California. So in the light heavyweight division, Jose de la Torre gets his first professional win. Best in Boxing, presented by Global Sports Streaming. And again, these are the guys that are launching their careers. They're chasing a dream. And they're chasing a dream to someday be a world champion, but it's got to start someplace. And you got to pay your dues, and it's part of the experience. You travel. Jose de la Torre coming here all the way from Los Angeles to make the weight and get here into the ring. And we're going to see a lot of that tonight. Now, Christopher, you get a guy like this in Jose de la Torre. Obviously, he was trying some stuff. In the first round, he was switching back and forth between a southpaw and a right-handed stance. Finally, he just stuck to the right-handed stance, and that seemed to work a lot better.
Yeah, once he figured out that his best stance was the orthodox position, he was able to get Julio Alcantar out of there much quicker. And originally, I thought it was a left hook because of the way he spun Alcantar's head around. But on the replay, it showed it was a quick, straight right hand by De La Torre.
And it was a very short right hand. And again, the doctor right on top, but able to see that, you know, the eyes were just not there. And the reaction of a fighter going straight back with no intent to throw any kind of a punch made the decision right then and there. and he went ahead and stopped the fight.
Yeah, definitely. He spun his head around, did De La Torre. So that also, I believe, played into the referee stoppage.
So 2 fights, 2 knockouts. So if you like knockouts, tonight is going to be a buffet of knockouts from these hard-punching guys who come here to give everything they've got and launch their careers to make an impressive showing. And it'll give you guys a chance to write some of these guys' names and see where they go with their career. That's one of the fun things about boxing is that you get to follow some of these guys. You watch them get started. Then all of a sudden you watch the levels of competition they put before them. They get better and better and better. And then you wonder, is he ready?
You make the connection with the fighter when they're laying the groundwork here, like in Tijuana, Mexico, with club level fights. They build a following, and once you see them on that big stage, you appreciate it a little bit more.
Absolutely. So our next fight is going to be Marco Arroyo from Stockton, California, taking on Leonardo Izquierdo from Ensenada, Baja California. And again, these fighters come from all over Mexico and the United States. So now let's go to Pablo Flores as the fighters make their way into the ring. You're going to first see Leonardo Izquierdo coming in the ring. He's a 20-year-old from Ensenada, Baja California. 15 fights as an amateur. He is 0-1 as a professional. And now he gets to go ahead and take on a guy, Marco Arroyo, who's making his pro debut after a 19-4 record as an amateur. He's got his whole family in the corner, Paul Arroyo, Marco Arroyo. Pablo Flores, our ring announcer, and here he comes. This is Marco Arroyo from Franklin High School in Stockton, California. Flew down here from Stockton, and he's ready to make his pro debut. And for a fighter, though, Christopher, it's got to be a relief after all that time in the gym and all that time training. This is fun. Is this the easy part or the enjoyable part?
This is definitely the easy part, Benny. You put in all that hard work, and here the fight, not the easy part, the fun part.
The fun part. So the fighters are set. Let's go to Pablo Flores.
Damas y caballeros, Boristeca Boxing Promotions y BIB, the best in boxing, presentan este encuentro pactado a 4 rounds en la división de peso mosca. 4 rounds of boxing in the flyweight division. Your 3 judges scoring this bout in ringside. Sus 3 jueces: Carlos de la Rocha, Iván Velasco y Jesús González. And your referee in charge of the action, su referee, el profesor Fernando Rentería. Introducing the fighter, standing in the blue corner, wearing red and black. He official weighs in at 112 pounds. Presentando ustedes en la esquina azul, vistiendo pantaloncillo color rojo con negro, con un peso de 112 libras. Y haciendo esta noche su debut profesional, making tonight his pro debut desde el puerto de Ensenada, Baja California, Leonardo Izquierdo. And his opponent across the ring is standing in the red corner, wearing red with white and black. He officially weighs in at 112 pounds. Y su rival en la esquina roja, vistiendo pantaloncillo color rojo con blanco y negro, con un peso idéntico de 112 libras. And also tonight, making his pro debut, haciendo también su debut profesional en esta noche, from Stockton, California, USA, Marco Arroyo. And here is with the final instructions. Para dar las indicaciones finales, el profesor Fernando Rentería. 4 rounds.
Listo, indicaciones. Jóvenes, mucho cuidado con los cabezazos. No golpes en la espalda, no en la nuca ni bajo el cinturón. ¿Vale? Choquen guantes, suerte. Dale mejor.
Fighters called to the center of the ring, given the final instructions by the referee. Now we are ready. This is going to be
in the flyweight division. Marco Arroyo from Stockton, California. He's going to be wearing the red trunks with the white belt. Leonardo Izquierdo will also be wearing red, but he's got a blue belt and blue stripes running down the side. The 20-year-old Leonardo Izquierdo, 0-1's a professional. Marco Arroyo, he is 19-4 as an amateur.
And not much of a feel around for Arroyo, coming straight forward, trying to land his shots.
And already a good left hand by Marco Arroyo. Love the way he hooks off that jab. Very sharp jab that he has. And then he hooks off of that, Christopher.
Yeah, that's some advanced stuff there, Benny. Just hook off the jab. Not something to teach you your first day in the boxing gym.
Boy, he's got the calmness of an assassin. Just totally, totally calm. Look at the eyes of Marco Arroyo. So calm and so relaxed.
Yeah, he's definitely focused. Doesn't look like it's his first. Doesn't look like it's his first fight as a professional. And it definitely seems like he has more than 20 fights as an amateur too. The way he's standing, not really feeling out his opponent in the first round, just going for it.
And one of the things that's really important, of course, is when you look at a prospect is how does he take a punch? I learned that from Nick Rattani when I got started my boxing career. He said, Benny, eventually you're going to get hit. And right there, that's a left hand right to the temple. Right to the temple, catching Leonardo Izquierdo.
It doesn't look like he's going to get up.
No. And he's going to go down to 0-2 now, Leonardo Izquierdo. So Marco Arroyo, you saw how calm he was right off the bat. Started out impressively using that jab and then hooking off the jab.
And charging forward right away, Benny. That for a pro debut, you usually have a little bit more nerves, more cautious. But Marco Arroyo just came out here and took care of business.
Now, what happens though when you're fighting a guy like that? You see this tremendous calm in the guy's eyes. You're fighting with him, and you wonder, okay, and here we get the replay. Take it right here, Christopher.
I believe, like you mentioned earlier, he hooked off the jab.
And that's a shot right there.
Yeah, it was a perfectly placed left hook to the top of the head, messed with the equilibrium of Izquierdo and put him down.
And pretty good leverage on that punch, the way he turned it. So let's go to Pablo Flores to give us the official time of the stoppage.
And Izquierdo still on the ground.
Damas y caballeros, tenemos el tiempo oficial de 1 minuto 52 segundos en el primer asalto. We have the official time of 1 minute 52 seconds coming into the very first round. Declaring the winner by the way of KO victory. Su ganador por la vía del knockout de Stockton, California, Marco Arroyo.
Marco Arroyo, a very happy young man in his pro debut, gets a knockout win over Leonardo Izquierdo in his corner. With Arroyo's his father, Paul Arroyo, also Marco Arroyo, his brother, the whole Arroyo family, a very, very happy family tonight as they make their way back to Stockton, California.
Yeah, it definitely made the trip worth it from Stockton, coming out with a knockout victory.
And let's take a look at the replay here. And watch that left shot to the top of the head.
Yeah, Benny, and earlier you mentioned leverage. He was able to do that with boxing fundamentals. When he threw that right hand, he was in perfect position to throw a hard left hook.
And that is right there. Aggression, anticipation, contact and counter. Boy, he countered beautifully. That's one of the things in boxing that's amazing there, Christopher, that the knockout occurs when the force comes towards the fighter and the force comes from the other fighter. That simultaneous impact is what causes that knockout.
That perfect timing. I've suffered a few knockdowns in my career, and that's usually what it is the force, like you mentioned, one going this way, one going the other way, and they meet right in the middle. You know, is just the sweet science.
And that's where relaxation is something that is so important in fighting, because you can't be tight. You got to be loose, and you got to let the hands go in that particular way. How old were you when you got started?
I originally started boxing as an amateur when I was 14 years old. I think that was the perfect age, because as my career went on, I know young kids that were 8 years old, 10 years old, and eventually as they get into their teens and even adulthood, they get tired of it, or they get burnt out of the sport. So I believe I started at a very good age, 14. Anybody looking to get out there or put their kids in there, I would recommend teens, right in their teens.
And we're here at the Big Punch Arena in Tijuana, Baja California, the fighting town of Tijuana, Baja California. So many great fighters have come from Tijuana. One of the guys I'll bring up, Eric Morales, Hall of Famer. You got Manuel Mantecas Medina, five-time featherweight champion of the world. All 5 of his losses were to his wife, Lady Tecas. Lady Tecas beat him all 5 times. No, that's a joke we do with Mantecas Medina, but a great, great, delightful guy I've enjoyed working with over the years, and just a true gentleman. And
really
it's amazing with some of you fighters how docile, and the demeanor is actually not a very aggressive demeanor that you guys have outside the ring.
Yeah, I attribute that to we're punching each other's in the gym, in the fights. So when you get out into the real world, it's okay. Everything's fine. You know, there's no danger. You know, so you get this mellow attitude. You know.
Yeah,
for life.
that's always. In fact, always when you shake a fighter's hands, it's always such a delicate handshake. You know, it's almost like the hands are that precious. You know, that you don't want to take any chance, you know, with it, but that's the way it is. Our next fight, which is coming up here, Dean Miranda is going to be taking on Jose Rodriguez, 2 guys from Tijuana. And that's one of the things, when you break it down, Tijuana, then you start getting into their neighborhoods of where they're from. And it's funny, with the audience here, they have the different areas that they favor, and it's that neighborhood against neighborhood that we get to see in the ring.
Yeah, well, actually, Dylan Miranda trains. He is from Tijuana. I don't know if he resides in Tijuana, but he is training at Bound Boxing Academy in Chula Vista, California.
So we'll get a chance to see Miranda. Miranda, he has had a successful debut and then one fight after that. He is 2-0 coming to this fight, taking on Jose Rodriguez, who is 0-1. This is going to be in the super bantamweight division, and that is coming up. We're here at the Big Punch Arena with Best in Boxing, Fight Hub TV, presenting this global sports streaming, a chance for you to see some of the up-and-coming fighters from a great talent base that exists here in Tijuana, Baja California.
Yeah, you mentioned Manteca Medina, Eric Morales, but one of the up-and-comers, not up-and-comers because he's a world champion, but new faces in boxing from Tijuana, Jaime Munguia.
He's a beast.
Absolutely,
he's a beast.
Absolutely beast.
You know, they put him in against Saddam Ali, and I've done a bunch of Saddam Ali's fights. I knew what kind of fighter he was. But Munguia looked like a heavyweight next to him. I mean, it just looks so much bigger, and he's so strong.
And the way he was punching, yeah, every time he landed the shots on Saddam Ali, he was hurting him both to the head and to the body, and just a much larger man in the ring that night.
And Saddam is a delightful young man. I know his father very well. Great, great people. You wonder sometimes, though, Christopher, if there's a certain fight like that that literally destroys the psyche of a fighter in the way they were beaten that way.
Well, it could be, but he's had a long amateur career as well as a decent enough length of a pro career. I think he's just going to go back to the drawing board. He's going to say, you know what? I'm not 154 pounds. I'm going to drop back down to welterweight. This guy was too big for me. And I think he could still reassess his career and go forward, move forward, and do well.
And that's something we're seeing so much in boxing now, Christopher, is that willingness to go up in weight so quickly. And you forsake that the punching power, what was a great punching power at 147 pounds, may not be at 154 or 160.
Yeah, well, Saddam Ali, I don't think was very well known for his knockout power in the welterweight division. So him going up, he definitely lost a lot. So I think he's going to reassess his career. He's going to go back down to welterweight, and he could still have a prominent future in the sport of boxing.
So that is part of the things that happens in boxing. You know, when you try to go ahead and chase the bigger fight with a bigger name, you do go up in weight, and sometimes that can be to your detriment because, again, like I said, what is a punch at 147 may not be at 154 and on and on. So we'll see how high Lomachenko can go at his particular weight division.
With his style, I believe, I think he's hit his mark at 135, and for his height, his frame. Don't be surprised if he goes to 140, but I think those guys are a little bit heavier punchers, and if they connect, it could be lights out for Lomachenko.
But, you know, the smartest one of all was Manny Pacquiao.
Oh, absolutely. That's the epitome of a guy jumping up in weights is Manny Pacquiao.
You know, the reason why I say he was smart was because he'd make the guys fight at a catch weight.
Oh, definitely. He caught De La
2 pound
Hoya
difference.
at 145 instead of the welterweight limit at 147. So smart decision by Manny Pacquiao.
We got Dylan Miranda taking on Jose Rodriguez. That is coming up next. And our announcer, Pablo Flores, will announce it.
And more or less directing traffic is Pablo Flores.
Alignment. And this is Jose Rodriguez from Tijuana, Baja California, making his way into the ring. And he is part of the Pollito Gym here in Tijuana. The Pollito Gym located here in Tijuana. And this is Dylan Miranda, 2-0 from Tijuana, Baja California. A big punching young prospect.
And mutual respect as Dylan Miranda walks into the ring.
And a lot of these guys living in the same town, they know about each other.
I'm sure they heard of each other, or maybe even seen each other, maybe even sparred each other since they're similar weights.
So we are ready for the official introduction by Pablo Flores.
Damas y caballeros, Boristeca Boxing Promotions y BIB, the best in boxing, presenta este encuentro pactado a 4 rounds en la división de peso Super Gallo. Let's get ready for 4 rounds of boxing in the Super Bantamweight division. Your 3 judges scoring this bout in ringside. Sus 3 jueces, Carlos de la Rocha, Jesus González e Iván Velasco. And your referee in charge of the action, su referee, el profesor Fernando Renteria. Introducing the fighter standing in the blue corner, wearing white trunks with gold and red. He officially weighs in at 122 pounds. Presentando ustedes en la esquina azul, vistiendo pantaloncillo en color blanco con oro y rojo, con un peso de 122 libras. As a professional, he stands with a record of 2 victories against no losses. Cuenta con un récord de 2 victorias por 0 derrotas. De San Diego, California, y representando también a Tijuana, Baja California, el Rey Dylan Miranda. And his opponent across the ring is standing in the red corner, wearing black trunks with white and gold trim. He officially weighs in 122 pounds. He stands with a record of 0 wins and 1 loss. Cuenta con un récord de 0 victorias por 1 derrota. Del barrio bravo del Florido de Tijuana, Baja California, José Rodríguez. And here is the final instructions. Aquí para dar las instrucciones finales el profesor Fernando Rentería. 4 rounds.
No golpes en la espalda ni bajo el cinturón. Se cuidan y se protegen en todo momento. Choquen guantes, suerte, gana el mejor.
And these are super bantamweights. Dylan Miranda, Jose Rodriguez, Dylan Miranda in the white trunks Jose Rodriguez in the black trunks. Dylan Miranda, Christopher, weighed in at 122. What do you think he weighs now, tonight? Yesterday he weighed 122.
Well, he's definitely a big 122-pounder, Vinny, so I would think he's probably in the 130, somewhere around there.
He looks like a big super bantamweight. Dylan Miranda, he's undefeated, 2-0. Jose Rodriguez, 0-1. Training out of the Polito gym in Tijuana, Baja California. Miranda does not seem to have that really straight, sharp jab.
No, but what I was also noticing from Jose Rodriguez, as he throws his jab, he brings his right hand down. So that's something that Dylan Miranda can capitalize on.
Miranda just sizing him up, measuring him up, trying to get to that kill zone to launch. Young man, 20 years old, Dylan Miranda. Great reach. 122 pounds, 76-inch reach.
And this is the thing when you get fighters like this that we're talking about, they're starting their careers here. Dylan Miranda has never seen Jose Rodriguez fight. And he's a bit awkward, is Rodriguez. Every time he throws his jab, he flinches. He's kind of like on defense mode, Benny. If I'm trying to explain myself.
Absolutely, you can see he's going back. That's one of the few times he tries to come in, but he doesn't come in with his hips. It's all upper body.
Yeah, it's not 100% commitment to his shots. And there's a cut on the left eye of Dylan Miranda.
And that could be a problem because it's above the eye. Let's just see if Rodriguez can hang around long enough to make it a factor, because it is above the left eye of Miranda.
And I don't believe I saw a clash of heads, so it might have been one of those looping shots.
No, that was a punch. Yeah, that was a right hand. And the bad part about that, Christopher, is that's coming into his eye.
It is coming into his eye. Like you said, it's right on the top, so it's dripping down.
If you've had sweat come into your eye, you know how stingy that can be, but if you got blood, it's even worse.
That was a good body shot by Miranda.
So let's see if now Miranda all of a sudden has a sense of urgency to end this sooner than later, trying to attack now Miranda. Now, as a fighter, does that become a target for you?
Yeah, you see blood, you want more blood. Rodriguez just simply needs to put his punches together because he's unable to land that one shot. So
I'll tell you, the punch is going to that's going to end the night. It's going to be an uppercut by Miranda. Watch the way he sets this up. It's going to be an uppercut with that right hand. Rodriguez drops that head after he jabs. Final seconds of round number one. Dylan Miranda, Jose Rodriguez.
And there he goes, dropping his head,
There's
and
the uppercut.
that was a good right uppercut. Very good call, Benny. I think you're right. It's going to come for Dylan Miranda if he continues to throw that right uppercut. Left uppercut as well.
Okay, score that first round for me.
Well, Dylan Miranda, hands down. I mean, Jose Rodriguez, besides that little cut that he caused on the left eye of Miranda, really didn't do much. And no fundamentals. He throws his shots halfway. And when I say halfway, I mean he backs up off it. He takes some sting off of it. He's not committing to his shots.
Let's take a look at here some of the action in the opening round. Miranda and Rodriguez. Let's see if we can see the right hand that opened the cut.
And those are those uppercuts that Miranda wants to throw, like you mentioned, Benny.
Now let's see what they've done. And so far they've got that blood to stop in the corner of Dylan Miranda. Dylan Miranda's got on the white trunks. Jose Rodriguez in black. Round number 2. Scheduled for 4 rounds.
And I think that was more of a scratch than a deep gash. So the corner shouldn't have trouble stopping that blood.
Miranda all of a sudden keeping that left hand up higher, protecting that right eye. See, someone like Rodriguez, I mean, he throws those shots, Christopher, but he's not really putting his weight forward, not really establishing his base of power when he launches that shot.
Yeah, so even if he does land on Miranda, it's not going to have a big effect. You know, we practice, you know, we spar in the gym. We know what a shot feels like. So when you get hit like half-assed, let's say it, here in the ring, you're not going to feel those shots, especially with the adrenaline already pumping.
Miranda now starting to come in and starting to get a rhythm, doubling up on the punches. Okay, so as a fighter, Chris, just tell me, I mean, does it look like that uppercut is there? Look at the way he's got his arms, spread them out.
It does when he leans over, does Rodriguez.
Step to the left and then throw the uppercut with the right.
Or once he closes that distance, Miranda just simply throw him because he's there. His guard is up way too high, and those uppercuts, like you mentioned, are going to be landing.
There's the upper. Just missed on that one.
And Miranda sees it, but he's unable to capitalize yet.
The one thing Rodriguez does do good as well is that roll the left shoulder with the punches.
And that's just being too defensive because as he's throwing, he's already thinking of getting out of the way. He's got to commit enough to do damage and then get out of the way.
And the crowd here urging on the two guys from Tijuana. Miranda coming down over the top.
And those were body shots,
He
Benny.
spit out his mouthpiece,
Yeah,
too.
those are body shots. He's not getting up.
That's it. He spit out his mouthpiece, as Rodriguez said. He's had enough. Diego Miranda goes now to 3-0.
And Miranda's tapping his body, saying as he hit him to the body, he must have felt those shots in his fist, hitting Rodriguez in the body and folding him.
Now being 10-2 as Dylan Miranda goes to 3-0. Here is the replay. Take it, Christopher.
So if we're seeing the knockout here, and you're going to see the body shots land by Dylan Miranda, and the guard was way too high for Rodriguez, and that perfect left hook to the body has him.
And it's always a delayed response. It's a delayed response when you get that solar plexus shot, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh my God, I can't even breathe.
Yeah, it takes a bit for your body to send that message to your head, and they're like, oh, okay, I have to take a knee. So that's exactly what happened here. Jose Rodriguez winced, took a minute, and then he took that knee.
I did one fight at the Del Mar Fairgrounds where the guy hit Dennis Grachev, hit his opponent so hard that he ended up failing a drug test from junior high.
Oh, wow. That's a good one.
So now let's get the official announcement here from Pablo Flores.
Damas y caballeros, este combate llega a su fin con un tiempo de 2 minutos con 3 segundos. En el segundo asalto, we have the official time at 2 minutes and 3 seconds in round number 2. We'll declare your winner by the way of KO victory. Su ganador por la vía del knockout de San Diego, California y Tijuana, Baja California, Dylan el Rey Miranda.
And there you have it, Dylan Miranda, round number 2, a winner by knockout as he stops Jose Rodriguez. And they bring Jose Rodriguez there to pose with the picture as is customary in Mexico. Tremendous respect these fighters have for each other. As they battle, and then show tremendous respect for each other. And I think that's great sportsmanship. So a great job done right there, Dylan Miranda, Jose Rodriguez. Well, we're 4 for 4 so far. If you like knockouts, we got a
That's what we're
buffet.
getting, knockouts.
Buffet of knockouts for you tonight. Our next fight is going to be Kevin Otley from San Diego, California, taking on Dario Cervantes. And tremendous rivalry. Again, Global Sports Streaming presenting Best in Boxing. The great thing now with streaming all these events, the beauty of it is anywhere in the world you can get this. Streaming has shrunk the world is what it's done.
That's a good way to put it.
Big Punch Arena. This is our venue here in Tijuana, Baja California. Brand new venue. And it is beautifully designed for great boxing, for viewing of boxing, and especially for the great boxing fans of Tijuana. And that's one thing. These are very astute boxing fans. They want fights. They want big fights, and they don't tolerate any kind of holding or grabbing or running or any of those kind of things. They want to see leather connecting.
You're right, Benny. They want to see leather. They want to see blood. These are well-knowledge boxing fans.
And they've seen, like we mentioned, some of the great fighters that have come out of Tijuana. Hibaro Perez and all of that. Let's take a little pause right here. We'll be back with more great boxing. Best in Boxing.
Hi, I'm, oh, okay. La 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 la. But that's it. That's it for all the blah blah blah. That's blah blah. Ah. Sorry, it's so lucky. Dang it! I almost had it. All right. Okay. General. No, I'm actually tired. No. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. El otro lado. Oh, Lord. The schedule, where we keep you, the boxing fans, in the know.
The Best in Boxing Fight Hub TV. Global Sports Streaming. And we've got our next fight. It is going to be Kevin Otley. This is in the super welterweight division. And we are ready for the official introduction from our ring announcer, Pablo Flores. And this is going to be the man from Tijuana, Baja California, coming out first, Dario Cervantes. Dario Cervantes, who trains right here in Tijuana. 20 professional fights. He gets his opportunity here tonight against Kevin Otley from San Diego, California, being led into the ring. He's got 8 professional fights, 5-2-1. These are super welterweights. Kevin Otley makes his way to his blue corner. Sorry, he'll be in the red corner. So now we are ready for the official introduction. Here is Pablo Flores.
Damas y caballeros, Boristeca Boxing Promotions y BIB, The Best in Boxing, presentan este encuentro pactado a 6 rounds en la división de peso Super Welter. 6 rounds of boxing in the Super Welterweight division. Your 3 judges scoring this bout in ringside. Sus 3 jueces, Carlos de la Rocha, Iván Velasco y Jesús González. And your referee in charge at the bell, en tercera superficie, el profesor Fernando Renteria. Introducing the fighter standing in the blue corner, wearing black trunks. He officially weighs in at 154 pounds. Presentando ustedes en la esquina azul, vistiendo pantaloncillo negro, con un peso de 154 libras. He stands with 20 professional bouts. Cuenta con 20 combates profesionales de Tijuana, Baja California. Darío Cervantes. And his opponent across the ring, standing in the red corner, wearing red and white. He officially weighs in at 154 pounds. Y su rival en la esquina roja, vistiendo pantaloncillo rojo con blanco, con un peso idéntico de 154 libras. He stands with a record of 5 victories against 2 losses, 1 draw, and 3 of those wins coming by the fast way of knockout. Presenta un récord de 5 victorias, 0 derrotas, 1 empate y 3 de esas victorias por la vía del knockout. From Baltimore, Maryland, and now representing House of Boxing, San Diego, California, USA. KO, Kevin Atley. And here is with the final instructions, con las indicaciones finales, el profesor Fernando Rentería. 6 rounds.
Atentos a las indicaciones. No cabezazos, no golpes en la espalda, en la nuca ni bajo el cinturón. Se cuiden en todo momento y hacen una bonita pelea. Choquen guantes, suerte, gana el mejor.
Pablo Flores right there interpreting the instructions of the referee here for Kevin Atley. And we are ready. This is the 154-pounders. Dario Cervantes is going to be wearing the black trunks. Kevin Atley in the red and white. The height and reach advantage all go to Kevin Atley. The weight the same at 154 pounds. Atley 5-2-1, a work in progress. Chance to train down at the House of Boxing in San Diego, California. And you're going to see Atley's going to work behind that jab. Going to work behind that jab. It's a sharp jab.
Hey, he's definitely got a good style for boxing. Hit and move, stick and move. And what I like about Atley is the fact that he doesn't shy away from tough opponents. Although he doesn't have the toughest opponent tonight in 0-20, he's faced 2 undefeated fighters, and he's only got 7 fights.
Biding his time, trying to go ahead and get that opportunity to go ahead and land the big right hand. Cervantes bringing the fight. And there's that right hand. The right hand is the one that's going to end the fight tonight. He's going to set that up with a jab and then come behind it.
You might be right, Benny, but he can't. Kevin Atley cannot throw it from too far away like he just did. He's got to set up his shots.
And that's what I said, a work in progress. They bring him here down to Mexico to get some ring time.
Well, this is his first fight since December of last year. I think he just got to get that rust off.
And now managing that distance a little bit better. Cervantes on pretty much defensive mode throughout this fight.
Yeah, he's definitely not making Kevin Atley work too much. Backing up, backpedaling. Not your typical style from a Mexican. Usually you see him coming forward, throwing punches and bunches. Not Mr. Cervantes here.
And you know the expression in Spanish they use for those guys, tú y tú. They love that style of fighting.
Yeah.
It's you and me, you and me.
You hit me, I hit you back.
Yeah. And Atley's trying to set up that right hand. And that one hurt him. That was a right hand.
Yeah,
another right hand. That was an upper. And Cervantes has felt the power of Atley.
And he was trying to hold, but he didn't do a good job there.
Well, that leg has gotten stiff. Cervantes' legs have gotten awfully stiff. Atley can end the night here. Sets it up with that left jab. And if he can double up behind that with that right hand, there it is.
He just has to put more than one. Right now, he's just pop-shotting Cervantes. But if he puts them together, Kevin Otley can definitely take him out.
And now starting to give angles as Otley trying to find the leverage for the final blow. And good left hand right there. Cervantes just trying to maneuver around, trying to stay away from the right hand of Otley. There's another pot shot.
And the ref gave no warning for that push by Otley.
And that is the end of round number 1. Kevin Otley, Diego Cervantes, and how'd you score that?
Oh, Kevin Otley the whole round.
Let's take a look at Kevin Otley and launching some combinations in the opening round. Here it is. Body shot.
Winning 100% of the round is difficult in this sport, professional boxing, but Kevin Otley accomplished it right there in the first round, winning every second of the round.
But you know, you pointed something out in that first round about throwing that punch from such a long distance in the part of Otley. He's got to learn how to manage that a little bit better, especially as gifted as he is. He's got some pretty quick hands, and he's got some good reflexes, and he's got that advantage in reach and height.
Yeah, he's definitely got to work on that, but there's not much fear here tonight from Dario Cervantes that's going to put Kevin Otley in danger. So therefore, he's taking a few more risks than normal. But when he looks back at this tape, he's going to see his mistakes and hopefully fix those errors.
Round number 2 of a Schedule 4 rounder. I'm sorry, it's a 6-rounder. Kevin Otley in the red trunks taking on Dario Cervantes from Tijuana, Baja California. Otley from San Diego trains at the House of Boxing. These are 154-pounders. Otley's had some success with that right hand. There's a straight right hand, but so far it's been pot shots. And now he's starting to put together combinations. Cervantes doing his best, just trying to defend himself here.
Cervantes definitely overwhelmed by Kevin Otley. And like you mentioned, once Kevin Otley is able to put his hands together, Cervantes has no answer.
But I think the key for Otley is everything has to start with a jab. Everything has to start with a jab for him.
Well, you know what, Benny? He's got that style where his movement could be his jab, where his movement can put him in the right spot for him to connect, like he just did there with that right hand. There was no jab behind it, but he moved to the side, put himself in position, and landed that right hand.
Kevin Otley looked at the referee and said, "Are you going to stop this?" And he obliged. Dario Cervantes not able to continue, so Kevin Otley now has a 6-2-1 record as he shows you how he can use his height, his reach, his reflexes, and eventually was that right hand that ended up finding a home and stopped Dario Cervantes. Otley now goes to 6-2-1. Let's take a look at here, right here, Christopher, the last seconds of that fight.
And it was Kevin Otley basically just putting his shots together, overwhelming Dario Cervantes, and kind of forced the ref to just step in. Not too much coming back from Dario Cervantes.
Well, you can see the referee tapping Otley from behind, saying that's enough.
Yeah.
And he was going to step in and stop the fight.
Yeah, because Kevin Otley kind of had like a rhythm going, just moving, punching, and forced the ref to step in.
Have you been to the House of Boxing?
I have. Very well-respected gym where Canelo Alvarez does his media workouts. Definitely a lot of experience in the corner of Kevin Otley.
Watch again. Watch how the referee here. Totally on top. You talk about position of a referee during a fight, and you're going to see that tap. Watch it as he positions himself there.
He's seeing the shots landing.
Right here. Watch
Kevin
a little
Otley.
tap. Watch a little tap. Right there. That was it.
Yeah.
See that left hand?
That's enough.
Letting him know, I'm going to stop this. Go ahead and back off. Great position by the referee. That is so important where a referee lines himself up to be able to be in total command of the fight when he needs to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go to
And
Go to
Kevin
Pablo
Ali still
Flores.
has energy.
Este combate concluye con un tiempo de 1 minuto con 2 segundos en el round número 2. We have the official time of 1 minute and 2 seconds in round number 2. Declaring your winner by the way of TKO victory. Su ganador por la vía del knockout técnico. House of Boxing, San Diego, California. Kevin K.O. Otley.
Kevin Otley now running his record at 6-2-1 as he gets a knockout win over Dario Cervantes. The stoppage, it was in round number 2. And a nifty little move by the referee right there. Again, Global Sports Streaming. Best in Boxing. Fight Hub TV. A chance for you to see these fighters right there on your computer or stream it on the big screen. But again, these are up-and-coming guys that are cherishing the moment to come out here and fight before you and let you go ahead and build a little dossier on these guys and keep track of these guys. And again, these are the ring card girls, and folks, they do serve a purpose because without them, we would never know what round it was. And I've often said that the best fights are when the fighter on his face has more stitches on his face than the ring card girl's got in her outfit. That's when you got a great fight.
Absolutely. That's what the fans come to see, and more specifically, the male fans come to see.
It's a high testosterone night here at the Big Punch Arena in Tijuana, Baja California. And for a guy like that, 154 pounds, Kevin Otley, Dario Cervantes. For Otley, here's a guy that might have a pretty good future in boxing, provided, like you said, takes a look at that tape and corrects some of the mistakes that he saw in that particular fight.
Yeah, he's going to have to look back. I mean, don't wait until you lose to go back and go back to the drawing board. Do it now. Even as you win, see what you can correct as you're winning. Better yourself from this victory.
And that's what we get to see right there. And for a guy like Dario Cervantes, you know, a lot of people don't realize you need opponents. You need opponents. Opponents make boxing. And opponents can make somebody a better fighter. It's a chance for them to go ahead and measure themselves, and you go to different levels of opponents you get to run into as you ascend in your career.
Yeah, we've all done it. Myself, even Floyd Mayweather has fought, you know, some quote-unquote tomato cans, you know, or how we put it here in Tijuana, some taxi drivers, or how they said Julio Cesar fought so many taxi drivers. Okay, but Julio Cesar, one of the greatest boxers from Mexico.
Exactly, and of course, you need those opponents because the opponents are the kind of guys that makes different fighters better at whatever different level they start ascending to, and then they get to that level of competition. I know in sports, one of the big things, folks, is the element of the unknown. You wonder sometimes, how much better are they at this particular fight? So as you were ascending to those different levels, Christopher, tell me about some of the realization that all of a sudden you came to when you got yourself with a world-class fighter.
Well, you learn from each fight, and you learn from each fighter. I could recall one of my earlier fights where a guy took away my left hook to the body, and in my opinion, even to date, is one of my best punches. He was able to take that away by, as I was throwing it, he would move with me. So that's something that I never saw in the gym. I never saw in an amateur fight. So we need this. As a fighter, as a professional fighter, we need these. We need these little stepping stones. Dario Cervantes right here showed Kevin Otley a few different looks that he may have never seen before. So today, Kevin Otley should just go back, look at the drawing board, even with the victory, and move forward.
So when they took away your left hook to the body, what'd you do?
I threw my right.
So see, for every move, there's a counter move, and that's what it's all about. Contact and counter, aggression, anticipation. Those are all part of, you know, the great sport of boxing, the sweet science where you got to think in there, and you got to think or you're going to get hit. And that's a consequence for not thinking correctly of the strategy you're utilizing.
And that's what makes a great fighter, is he's able to think inside of the ring faster than his opponent. So if you have a quick mind and able to adjust, you're going to be successful here in the sport of boxing.
And, you know, some of the great fighters over time, you know, defense is such a big part of boxing. Along with that aggression comes that ability not to be able to get hit. And I was looking at videos the other day of some of the great fighters. You watch a particular move. Roberto Duran, the way he would turn his head,
yes,
you know, and slide with that punch. Then you look at Wilfred Benitez, who they call the radar, el radar, because he almost could sense the punch coming before the fighter even thought of throwing that particular punch. Floyd Mayweather, you know, all those guys.
Definitely one of the greatest there for defensive fighters.
Yeah, Grand Rapids, Michigan,
yeah.
Cass Street, James Toney, all the Mayweathers, Jeff, Floyd Sr., Floyd Jr., Roger Mayweather, Tony Tucker, Fred Quinlan, all those guys coming out of Grand Rapids. Tony Tucker, another one. And all so good
those shoulder rolls.
At using that shoulder roll.
Of all those names, I know 50% because I'm not as old as you, Benny. But the one that he did mention is James Toney. For all you young fighters out there, watch James Toney. James Toney, one of the best roll punchers that you've ever seen. Roll and counter. One of the greatest at it.
Exactly. Those are, again, part of the defense. Joan Guzman, I always thought was a great defensive fighter. It's a shame he wasn't disciplined enough to make weight when he was supposed to make weight. That's part of being a professional. He wasn't able to do it. But again, a great defensive fighter. And those are the kind of skills that when you really get to know the sport, you appreciate.
It's funny you mentioned Joan Guzman because when I was a young amateur, I was very light. I used to fight at 112 pounds in the amateurs. And one day, he came to the gym, and I was able to spar with him. Obviously, he didn't hurt me because he was much bigger and he was just working with me. But I'll never forget, I threw a 4-punch combination, and Joan Guzman moved. Not blocked, he moved from every single shot that I threw. So, like you said, a defensive fighter, Joan Guzman was definitely one of them.
Well, I remember when Joan Guzman took on Humberto Soto, and I thought at the time when Humberto Soto was going to fight him, I thought it was a bad idea. Because I said, here's a guy, if you're a counterpuncher, you're not going to be able to go ahead and counter Joan Guzman because he's just so fast and he anticipates those shots that come in. And like you said, he doesn't have to block them. He literally can move out of your reach and you get nothing but air. And that's something that can really affect your psyche.
It can affect your psyche and your conditioning because most fighters, maybe about 95% of fighters, we don't practice not hitting somebody. So when you hit wind, it hurt. I mean, it wears on you more than actually making contact.
Global Sports Streaming presenting the best in boxing. We're at the Big Punch Arena here in Tijuana, Baja California. And we're going to get right off the bat. We'll go to Kevin Torres. Pablo Flores is coming away into the ring. We got our next fighter is going to be Carlos Rangel taking on Brandon Cruz. This is Carlos Rangel from Ensenada, Baja California. Carlos Rangel, 2-1. He is a 22-year-old, 30 amateur fights. He was talking about Brandon Cruz. Said Brandon Cruz likes to fight from a distance. So it's going to be up to me to get inside to fight from that mid-distance area. And this is Brandon Cruz from Chula Vista, California. He is undefeated. He is 5-0. As he makes his way into the ring here. 21 years of age.
And as you mentioned, Benny, Carlos Rangel in the fighter meeting said that he needs to get inside on Brandon Cruz. But we have seen Brandon Cruz here on Best in Boxing before, and we know that's not going to be an easy task because of Brandon Cruz's punching power.
Let's go to Pablo Flores for the official introduction.
Damas y caballeros, Boristeca Boxing Promotions y BIB, the Best in Boxing, presenta este encuentro pactado a 6 rounds en la división de peso Super Pluma. 6 rounds of boxing in the Super Featherweight division. Your 3 judges scoring this bout in ringside. Sus 3 jueces: Carlos de la Rocha, Iván Velasco y Jesús González. And your referee in charge of the action, su referee, el profesor Fernando Rentería. Introducing the fighter standing in the blue corner, wearing blue trunks with silver trim. He officially weighs in at 130 pounds. Presentando ustedes en la esquina azul, vistiendo pantaloncillo color azul con plata, con un peso de 130 libras. He stands with a record of 2 victories against 1 defeat. Cuenta con un récord de 2 victorias por 1 derrota. Directamente del puerto de Ensenada, Baja California, Carlos Chiquis Rangel. And his opponent across the ring, standing in the red corner, wearing red and gold. He officially weighs in at 130 pounds. Y su rival en la esquina roja, vistiendo pantaloncillo color rojo con oro, con un peso de 130 libras. He stands with an undefeated record of 5 victories against no losses, and 3 of his victories coming by the fast way of knockout. Presenta un récord de 5 victorias, 0 derrotas, y 3 de esas victorias por la vía del knockout. Representing Skyline, California, USA. Too Smooth, Brandon Cruz. And here is with the final instructions. Para dar las indicaciones finales, el profesor Fernando Rentería. 6 asaltos.
Pelea limpia, no cabezazos, no golpes en la espalda, no golpes abajo del cinturón. Vamos a hacer caso a las indicaciones. Choquen los guantes, suerte, gane el mejor. Cuídense.
The final instructions to Carlos Rangel and Brandon Cruz. Brandon Cruz is going to have on the red trunks with the gold belt. Brandon Cruz Carlos Rangel dressed in blue. This is going to be in the super featherweight division, 6 rounds. Brandon Cruz, who loves to fight from a distance using that reach advantage and working behind that jab. Carlos Rangel, the southpaw, is going to try to get inside on Brandon Cruz, and we'll see if he's effective doing that. The Big Punch Arena here in Tijuana, Baja California. Okay, so break it down for me, Christopher. What do you do against the southpaw?
Well, you want to have your lead foot on the outside of the right foot of Carlos Rangel. And as of right now, Brandon Cruz doing a good job of it, stepping off to the left.
And the reason you want to do that is to set that straight right.
Yeah, that's another thing I was going to mention is that's the punch you want to throw. Sometimes you think you can't jab a southpaw, but you can. But more effective is going to be that straight right to the head and to the body.
But is it also an awkward position on the part of Cruz to not see that shot coming from the left?
You mean the left hook or?
Yeah, the left, especially, the way, watch the way Rangel uses that right hand. He jabs with that and then comes with that left. So real important for a Cruz to hold that right hand up.
Okay, absolutely, yeah. I see what you mean now, and you're right. So the same advantages that Cruz has, Rangel has them more because he's used to seeing nothing but right-handed fighters.
And now we got a good exchange coming up right here, right now. Brandon Cruz in red, Carlos Rangel in the blue trunks. And you can tell Rangel very, very comfortable once he gets inside. Puts his head on the chest of Brandon Cruz and then throws his shots.
And like he mentioned in the fighter meeting, that's what he wants to do. He wants to close the distance and fight mid-range with Brandon Cruz.
Rangel coming in with that left hand. 2-1 the record at Rangel. And you see Cruz, he's not really snapping those shots. It's kind of like lunging with it.
I think he's still feeling out Rangel in this round. Once he gets more comfortable, warmed up, he'll sit down more on the shots.
Rangel getting the best of this exchange. Cruz is in a fight.
And Rangel landed a good right hand to the body in that exchange.
Good counter shot right there, Rangel. And now going down. Rangel does a good job of managing that space. You don't see him lunge, you know that?
Yeah,
he throws a shot, and he's ready to throw another one after. See right there.
He's well balanced. And like he said, he wants to fight mid-distance, and so far he's doing a good job of it.
And all of a sudden, Cruz now wants to fight, use that shoulder roll with the left. Final seconds of round number 1. Brandon Cruz, Carlos Rangel. And this was a very even round, so we'll see who Christopher Martin gives that first round to.
You know what, Benny? We normally don't have 10-10 rounds. A judge, you won't see too many judges score 10-10 rounds. But in this point, I really couldn't pick a winner. I mean, Brandon Cruz did good work, as did Carlos Rangel.
All right, we're going to get a little replay here. See if you change your mind after seeing this replay. There's you see Rangel getting the best of it in that exchange. See that?
Yeah, landing combinations, but here comes Brandon Cruz landing 2 hard shots and evading 2 hard shots from Rangel. So that's why it's a little bit difficult to pick a winner for me in this fight or in this round.
Christopher, I hate 10-10 rounds. I got to pick somebody. I'm going to give it to Carlos Rangel. And that's the beauty of it, folks. In boxing, it's objective.
There you go.
Christopher has one angle. I've got one angle. We got 3 judges. They're official. We're unofficial.
And you're right. I don't like 10-10 rounds. But like you said, this is unofficial. If I was a judge, then definitely, yeah, you have to pick a winner. You most likely have to. But in this case, unofficial, I'm going to go with the 10-10.
That's the beauty of boxing. It's great to disagree. Two people having the same vantage point, seeing the fight differently. Brandon Cruz, he's got on the red trunks. Carlos Rangel in blue. Rangel had a definitive plan for this fight. He was going to get inside, fight him from the mid-distance, get in that kill zone, and then find the punching angles from there. Brandon Cruz, on the other hand, wanted to use his reach advantage and fight from outside.
And Brandon Cruz landed a good jab, which I mentioned in the first round. You can jab a southpaw. Just have to have your hand slightly above his right hand.
Brandon Cruz making sure that that right hand stays up. Aware of the left hand of Carlos Rangel. Cruz acknowledging when Rangel hits him. Almost like, and look at Rangel, look at Rangel.
And there he goes with that mid-distance that he mentioned where he wants to be. And this is where Brandon Cruz could be effective as well, because he throws hard shots, but right now he's being a little bit too defensive.
Rangel getting the best of these exchanges. You saw repeatedly Brandon Cruz's head snapping. But here comes Brandon Cruz. The ebbs and flow of boxing.
Yeah, he knows he got hit, and he wants to come forward and make his own point. That's a sign. That's a sign of a good fighter right there. You hit me, I'm going to hit you back.
Carlos Rangel appears to be a very fit fighter. And he appears to have a granite chin. See, he never even takes a step back. I mean, you heard some leather popping there.
He took a step back there. That was a good shot to the body by Brandon Cruz, and he knows it, so he went back with that same shot. I think he's doing it again. There he goes.
On the part of Rangel, he's making a big mistake here, not throwing. If you get in that kill zone, you got to throw it. Now, all of a sudden, Rangel. Oh, we got a fight here, folks.
We definitely do have a fight. Good uppercuts by Rangel.
A great test here for Brandon Cruz. He came in undefeated. And let's see if he leaves this ring undefeated. It is scheduled for 6 rounds. Super featherweight division. Rangel doing a good job of fending off those punches by Brandon Cruz, but he's got to start throwing some here.
Yeah,
this is another very tight round to call.
Yeah, on the other one, I think very close. I would say Brandon Cruz landing the hardest shots in this round, and not that much activity from Carlos Rangel.
And that's why, folks, if I give you a suggestion, break the rounds in 1 minute, 2 minute, and 3 minute as you score the fight.
Good advice.
And you see all of a sudden there, Brandon Cruz acknowledging to Carlos Rangel, good punch. Final seconds of round number 2. It is a very hard round to score. Cruz and Rangel. And which way do you go on this one?
Well, you said it is another hard round to score, but I think Brandon Cruz did a little bit more damage on Carlos Rangel than vice versa.
So that one is going to be, so the way I have it scored an even fight, because the first round I gave to Carlos Rangel. Let's take a look at some of the action in round number 2. This is Rangel, and then all of a sudden here comes Brandon Cruz.
With those beautiful body shots.
You know, that would be great on the part of Brandon Cruz if he learns how to fight crouched down, because he's a tall kid, he's got that reach advantage, and he can have a tendency to be too upright.
Yeah, as he's doing right now, as we're seeing this replay, he's a little bit too upright and acknowledging the work of Rangel. But like you said, go ahead and spread your feet a little bit, get a bigger base, and put some leverage on those shots.
So we are ready for round number 3 of a scheduled 6-rounder in the super featherweight division. Your principals in the ring, Brandon Cruz in the red trunks, taking on Carlos Rangel in the blue. Rangel wants to fight inside. Brandon Cruz, on the other hand, has had success fighting from the outside, using the jab, and then attacking the body from there. See, now he's getting to be pretty accurate with that jab, Cruz.
Yeah, he touched his face a couple times on Rangel, so that's what he needs to do. Like I mentioned earlier, most people think you can't jab a southpaw. You can, and just work behind it. Put that right hand behind it. Put that left hook after that. Land combinations. Set it up with that jab.
Now this is what Rangel has to do. Throw. Get to that kill zone and throw. Don't get there and then freeze.
Well, I think Brandon Cruz is making him freeze, because every time this round Rangel has gone in that mid-distance where he likes to be, Brandon Cruz has landed beautiful body shots. That'll definitely deter any movement or punches you're thinking about.
You know, and that's where it can be so deceptive in Mexico when you fight a fight. Look at Carlos Rangel, 2-1. I mean, think nothing big. I mean, Cruz is 5-0, and then you get in the ring and you find out this kid can fight.
Yeah, I'm sure he has great sparring in the gym. He seems as though he has good fundamentals, boxing fundamentals. So right now, this is what we want to see. We want to see Brandon Cruz, an up-and-comer, in a tough fight.
And look at this exchange. Leather launching at its best. These guys are letting it go.
And good head movement by Brandon Cruz.
He got some blood coming from Cruz's. I'm trying to see if it is the nose.
I believe it's his right nostril.
And of course, that could be a problem for a fighter for breathing. May have to breathe through his mouth. And again, relaxation and energy comes through the nostrils. And you see Brandon Cruz using that shoulder roll.
He hurt him to the body.
And you see the delayed response. Look how tough Rangel is. He's staying there and taking those shots.
This is what he sees every day in the gym, Benny. These guys come to fight. This is what we practice here in Tijuana, Mexico. Head to head, you throw, I throw, you throw, I throw.
And this is why we call it best in boxing, folks, because this is the kind of matches you're gonna get. Carlos Rangel showing how tough he is. And now coming back after taking some shots. Now he wants to unload. Cruz nodding his head that it's not reaching him.
And Brandon Cruz needs to do what put him ahead in this round, is that throwing that right hand to the body.
And they're urging on Carlos Rangel, the young man from Ensenada, Baja California.
Yeah, we have to remember here, Benny, Brandon Cruz is from San Diego and Carlos Rangel from Ensenada, like you mentioned. You know, he's got his hometown crowd here. So that might also sway the judges if this goes to a decision.
I'm going to go with Brandon Cruz in round number 3. Let's take a look at some of the action in round number 3 of a scheduled 6-rounder. And there you get Brandon Cruz, and then you see Carlos Rangel, when it looked like he was hurt, coming right back.
Coming right back, yeah. And this is a good fight, but that right hand to the body, I think, is what hurt Carlos Rangel, and Brandon Cruz was able to land his shots after that. Much heavier shots after he hurt him to the body. But there you go with the toughness again of Rangel.
There is no quit in Carlos Rangel. Brandon Cruz getting the instructions. A young man fully committed to boxing. He wants to make this his future. He is in the super featherweight division. Great build for a super featherweight because he's tall.
Yeah, he's a tall guy. And from what we've seen in his past fights here in Bolisteca boxing, he hits hard.
We're ready for round number 4 of the scheduled 6-rounder super featherweight division. Your principals in the ring, they are Brandon Cruz in red, Carlos Rangel from Ensenada in blue. And Brandon Cruz had brought a pretty large contingent here because we're hearing the Brandon.
Yeah, the crowd is battling Rangel versus Cruz's fans.
And this has been the pattern for the fight. Cruz comes out and starts out very, very well. Carlos Rangel lets him punch it for the first minute, and then he starts taking over.
Yeah, Carlos Rangel doesn't seem to have the same energy, though, as he did the first 3 rounds.
Good right hand right there by Rangel.
I believe the body shots that Cruz landed in the 3rd round had a little bit of an effect.
The blood no longer coming out of the nostril of Brandon Cruz.
Corner doing a good job of stopping it.
Now coming in with those uppercuts is Brandon Cruz. Carlos Rangel, I mean, you look at his ability to take shots. You almost wonder if an 18-wheeler ran him over, 6 tires would go flat. And good counterpunch right there by Rangel. Cruz coming back. Cruz now showing you what he can do.
If Cruz wants to make this an easy night for himself, he needs to keep going back down to the body. Have that success he had in the 3rd round, go back to the body.
And good angles on the punches of Brandon Cruz.
And the toughness of Rangel, he just keeps coming back after taking vicious shots from Brandon Cruz.
That right hand by Cruz snapping the head of Carlos Rangel.
Oh, beautiful body shot
right
in the middle.
You've been asking for it.
There it is.
Christopher Martin, you asked for the body shot, and Brandon Cruz delivered it.
It was a beautiful shot right down the middle in the solar plex.
Tremendous leverage on that body shot.
That's what that was. It was just very good fundamentals by Brandon Cruz. He had his feet planted, like you mentioned earlier, that he needed to do. He did it there, and he was able to get that leverage with that right uppercut to the body.
Let's get this replay. Great job by our camera people. Watch this.
And it's a simple tap and then go. Tap and go.
And there it is. Watch the delayed response.
It's that one right there as he was throwing. As Rangel was throwing, Brandon Cruz was coming in under it.
Brandon Cruz relentless in his commitment to attack the body of Carlos Rangel, and that's what ended up stopping the fight tonight. Going down below and chopping that body until finally Carlos Rangel could take no more. But what a tough guy. Tough guy, putting on a great show. But at the end of the day, Brandon Cruz was able to summon what he needed to stop the night.
Yeah, definitely a tough guy because he was taking everything.
Let's go to Pablo Flores for the official introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout comes to an end officially at 1 minute and 58 seconds in round number 4. Este combate termina con un tiempo de 1 minuto 58 segundos en el cuarto asalto. Declaring your winner by the way of TKO victory. Su ganado por la vía del knockout técnico. Skyline, California, USA.
And there you have the official time.
Too Smooth Cruz.
Pablo Flores announcing the official time, 1 minute 58 seconds of round number 4.
Y también fuerte reconocimiento para su rival, para
Brandon
Carlos
Cruz,
Rangel.
over a very tough Carlos Rangel from Ensenada, Baja California. And that was a great workout for Brandon Cruz. He came in to go ahead and get some time in the ring. And boy, he ran into a very tough customer, Carlos Rangel, who really brought it to him and got that fight, got that win. Brandon Cruz.
And that's what we want to see, Benny, from prospects, making them work for their wins.
Here's a little body work here by Brandon Cruz. This is not body work, this is body destruction.
So that's one tap. He noticed that he didn't connect too hard, so he brought it up a little bit and connected even harder by putting more leverage in there.
That is a solar plexus shot, folks. And you can go down the list in the history of boxing. Some of the people that have had to endure that solar plexus shot. I go to one particular fight. Remember when De La Hoya fought Bernard Hopkins?
That was a left hook to the liver. So you could do as many sit-ups as you want. You're not gonna evade not going down from a body shot if it's to the liver or if it's to the solar plexus.
And then I remember Jose Luis Castillo when he took on Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton landed a left shot to the liver that he was granted Mexican citizenship right after that shot.
I like that.
If you can hook to the body, they'll give you Mexican citizenship, even for a guy from England. So again, Brandon Cruz now runs his record as 6-0. And again, folks, write that name down. Brandon Cruz from Chula Vista, California. You're going to see him again and again here in Best in Boxing, Fight Hub TV, Global Sports Streaming. And a great workout for Brandon Cruz, a chance for him to go ahead and sharpen up his skills. And you know, Christopher, he had to dig deep to try to find the way because, you know, he came out, was jabbing, moving around, and then all of a sudden, Carlos Rangel started showing his ability to fight inside.
Yeah, Rangel definitely made Brandon Cruz work for his victory here tonight. And he had to put some punches together, and he even took some punches from Rangel in order to get this victory. So this is what we want to see from our young up-and-coming fighters. Go through adversity like this.
This is Miguel Villalobos from Tijuana, Baja California. And now look for this young man. This is a young man that they have tremendous hope for. He is Kevin Torres from Bellingham, Washington, now residing in San Diego, California, training at the House of Boxing. He is 9-0-1. And if you think about it, that one was a draw, and that was in his second professional fight.
Probably still ringing out some rookie jitters in that second fight, but as of late, this ain't the first time we've seen Kevin Torres here in the ring. he's come to his own, developed a good skill at the House of Boxing, and definitely a power puncher.
Let's go to the official introduction by Pablo Flores.
Damas y caballeros, Boristeca Boxing Promotions y BIB, the best in boxing, presentan este encuentro pactado a 6 rounds en la división de peso welter, 6 rounds of boxing in the welterweight division. Your 3 judges scoring this bout in ringside, sus 3 jueces, Iván Velasco, Jesús González y Carlos de la Rocha. And your referee in charge of the action, el tercero en la superficie, el profesor Fernando Rentería. Introducing the fighter standing in the blue corner, wearing blue trunks with white trim. He officially weighs in at 147 pounds. Presentando ustedes en la esquina azul, vistiendo pantaloncillo en color azul con blanco, con un peso de 147 libras. He stands with a record of 2 victories against 5 losses. Presenta un récord de 2 victorias por 5 derrotas. Representando Tijuana, Baja California, Miguel Villalobos. And his opponent across the ring, standing in the red corner, wearing black trunks with red trim. He officially weighs in 147 pounds. Y su rival en la esquina roja, vistiendo pantaloncillo negro con rojo, con un peso de 147 libras. He stands with a record of 9 victories, 0 losses, 1 draw, and 5 of those victories coming by the fast way of knockout. Presenta un récord de 9 victorias, 0 derrotas y un empate. From Bellingham, Washington, Mazatlán, Sinaloa, y House of Boxing, San Diego, California, USA, the Diamond Boy, Kevin Torres. And here is with the final instructions para dar las indicaciones finales, el profesor Fernando Rentería. 6 rounds.
Pelea limpia, no cabezazos, no golpes en la nuca, no golpes en la espalda ni bajo el cinturón. Se cuidan y hace caso de mis indicaciones en todo momento. Choca en guantes, suerte, juega el mejor.
The final instructions by the referee, Kevin Torres, Miguel Villalobos. Kevin Torres is going to have the black trunks with the red belt. Kevin Torres is going to be the young man from Bellingham, Washington. 9-0-1 record. The 1 draw was his 2nd professional fight. He takes on Miguel Villalobos with 7 professional fights. Tremendous punching power on the part of Kevin Torres. 45 fights as an amateur up in the Washington State area. Now making it home here in San Diego, California. House of Boxing is his gym where he trains. Torres is going to work behind that jab.
And right away, Benny, as a boxer, I would look at Miguel Villalobos' frame, his body type, and he's not the most athletic or built guy, so definitely go to that body if you're Kevin Torres.
You see him working that jab, though. As long as he uses that jab, that'll be a defensive move and an offensive move as well, as it'll keep Kevin Torres at bay. When you start getting into double-digit wins, that's when all of a sudden the competition starts getting stiffer and stiffer, and Torres is approaching that.
I always say, anybody can sign that paper and become a professional fighter, but a true professional has 10 professional wins. And Kevin Torres went away from becoming, in my opinion, a true professional. Not that he wasn't already. He's definitely got the skill set. He's got the power. He's even got the looks here for the sport of boxing. You know, everybody wants to see a good-looking kid who punches hard succeed.
And that's what we got here with Kevin Torres. Kevin Torres trying to go ahead and just bide his time and look for that perfect opportunity. Search and destroy right now is the mission for Kevin Torres.
And there he goes with his first shot to the body, and Villalobos did not like it.
Yeah, so far it's been all head hunting on the part of Kevin Torres until that particular shot to the body.
And there he goes again. Beautiful left hook to the body.
Villalobos comes back with the same.
But that's when you know that you hurt somebody to the body, is because they're going to throw back at you to the body.
So that's a sign, huh?
Of respect, pretty much, because, okay, you hurt me to the body, let me try to hit you to the body.
Villalobos so far pretty good at defending himself. Let's see if he's got the energy to be able to continue through 6 rounds. Scheduled for 6 rounds. This is in the welterweight division.
Yeah, Villalobos showed some good head movement in that last exchange.
Does he look like Victor Ortiz a little bit, Kevin Torres?
Yeah, I can see that. Victor Ortiz's little brother.
Villalobos, now you're starting to see that mouthpiece. Did you see him opening his mouth now, trying to breathe? Trying to find air.
Trying to show you his teeth.
Torres doing a great job of closing that distance, now digging that body. Look at the leverage Torres now getting on those body shots. That's coming down from those hips.
Yeah, you could see that Kevin Torres hits hard by the way his frame is, the way he's got his legs spread out, getting that leverage, turning his punches as he throws. Villalobos definitely having a hard time right now with Kevin Torres.
So the first round belongs to Kevin Torres, as he showed us a variety of boxing maneuvers, attacking the body, attacking the head, creating angles. Let's take a look at some of the body shots here in this particular. And this is not body repair, folks. This is body destruction.
But good comeback by Villalobos, you know, staying in the fight. Even though he's getting hit with hard body shots by Kevin Torres, he's responding, which is what we want to see with young fighters here like Kevin Torres, 9-0-1. Let's make him earn that 10th victory.
Villalobos very adept at defending himself and actually throwing a couple of good jabs at the same time as well. So what was the holdup was the corner man of Villalobos unable to get the stool out of the ring. And now we are ready. Round number 2 of a scheduled 6-rounder. These are welterweights. Kevin Torres in the black trunks, Miguel Villalobos in the blue. And now Villalobos is going to try to rough him up a little bit.
And I got to give it up to Villalobos. He's a tough guy, man. He's taking hard shots from Kevin Torres and responding. He's not shelling up. He's throwing his shots as well, trying to win this fight.
The key is going to be the physicality of Miguel Villalobos. Can he sustain this for 6 rounds?
Well, sometimes it's just body makeup. As cut up as Kevin Torres is, we see that he's done the work in the gym.
And you know, and that's good that you point that out, because I've seen many marathons where I thought this guy is never going to finish this. And sure enough, 3 hours, 50 minutes, there he is. And you're right, it's a body type.
So right now what I'm seeing from Villalobos is the toughness. It's there, man. He's fought nothing but undefeated fighters. He actually beat one of them in his second pro fight. Beat a guy that's 2-0, you know. So this guy's here tough. He's going to test Kevin Torres. He's doing it now.
And you look at the look on his face, this serene look. Almost eerie to where he looks very comfortable in there.
I'd say that's a look of focus. Then.
Total focus. And Torres trying to find punching space. But Villalobos doing a great job of countering and moving.
One thing I've heard one of the great commentators, Max Kellerman, say, class tells over time. And I think that's something we're seeing here with Kevin Torres and Miguel Villalobos. As he's getting tired, Miguel Villalobos is having a tough time keeping his composure, throwing his shots well balanced like he did in the first round and actually landing, as he's not landing many. And Kevin Torres is just the same as the first round. And if this continues, in my opinion, he's going to keep getting better. Warming up that engine.
And all of a sudden, that's one of the first step backwards that we have seen. And that's a body shot. Really a debilitating shot. Landed by Kevin Torres.
And you see the toughness from Villalobos. He didn't shell up. He threw back. He's throwing back punches. He's trying to win this fight.
Villalobos has to make this a street fight. Make it as dirty as possible. Don't give Torres any kind of punching angles.
I think you're right, Benny. Make it a street fight. Measure up to those tattoos he's sporting.
You can't stay there, though.
And he can't keep taking those hooks to the body.
Final seconds of round number 2 of a scheduled 6-rounder in the welterweight division. Kevin Torres gets another one, but I'll tell you what, utmost of respect for Miguel Villalobos. He has taken some wicked body shots, and he keeps coming back for more.
Yeah, like you mentioned earlier, the marathoner, I think the way he took those shots in the second round, he might be able to take those shots for 6 rounds.
And here's some of the work by KT, Kevin Torres. And there he is, attacking that body. But look at Villalobos coming right back.
And like you mentioned, the toughness there. That's tough.
The whole time right there, Villalobos never took the mouthpiece out of his mouth.
Oh, nowadays they make better mouthpieces, Benny, where it's hard to take them out. I have some by my guy, Mouthpiece Guy, here in Southern California. Those things don't come out. It's hard to take them out, actually. You have to dig them out of your mouth.
Round number 3 of a scheduled 6-rounder in the welterweight division. Your principals, Kevin Torres in the black trunks, taking on Miguel Villalobos from Tijuana in the blue. Torres from Bellingham, Washington. Now training and residing in San Diego, California. House of Boxing.
And another left hook to the body by Kevin Torres. Villalobos taking it well.
Torres got to start wondering what's it going to take. Because there it is. Villalobos is right there. He digs the body. He lands solid shot. Villalobos has gone nowhere.
It's just the work you put in the work. I mean, the work you put in the gym. Kevin Torres still seems calm, cool, collective, and continues to throw to the body.
This is great work for Kevin Torres. That Villalobos is trying to make it difficult for him to be able to go ahead and land those shots.
Yeah, he's smothering Kevin Torres right now. I think that it's proven to be effective right now for Villalobos.
And you know, you can't say that Villalobos is just in survival mode because he actually throws shots.
Yeah, he continues to throw shots. And that was a good overhand right to the ear, I believe, of Villalobos.
And that bell all of a sudden rang in Villalobos' head. But again, extreme calmness, even at a very precarious time. And that's another bad body shot's going to do it.
And that was a very clean left hook to the body.
In the 3rd round, Kevin Torres gets a stoppage. 2 minutes, 13 seconds of round number 3. Great work by Kevin Torres.
Great work by Kevin Torres, but the toughness of Miguel Villalobos stands up to me because we've seen here in the past Kevin Torres a heavy puncher.
Here's the first knockdown. Get to look at that. He digs the body, and then he come over the top.
And he had already softened up the body, as we saw.
That's about 8 punches that he landed, and then finally that one.
I think that was just an accumulation, and simply Villalobos was tired. His body was already tired. It wouldn't take much from Kevin Torres to put him down there.
It was almost like watching a demolition ball strike a building
Over
again
and over, yeah.
and again and again, and finally it just became too much, and down came Miguel Villalobos. But what a tough guy.
Absolutely. I like the analogy, Benny. You're right. The first one, it's not going to put it down, but over and over in the same spot is going to bring down that building.
Tijuana, Baja California's Miguel Villalobos. Kevin Torres from Bellingham, Washington, now residing in San Diego, California, now goes to 10-0-1. And Christopher, he is now in double digits with those wins.
And like I mentioned earlier, a true professional and still technically a prospect, but we could see him in world contention here soon.
Let's go to Pablo Flores for the official time of the stoppage.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout comes to an end officially with a time of 1 minute 38 seconds in round number 3. Tenemos el tiempo oficial de 1 minuto 38 segundos en el round número 3. Declaring your winner by the way of TKO victory. Su ganador por la vía del knockout técnico. Bellingham, Washington. Mazatlán, Sinaloa y House of Boxing, San Diego. The Diamond Boy, Kevin Torres.
And there you have your winner, Kevin Torres, whose record now goes to 10-0 and 1 draw. That was in his second professional fights, for which he said he learned so much from, and that was that you got to come prepared and you got to put in the work for each and every fight. Ever since that draw, he said he changed his whole way of training. Global sports streaming presenting Best in Boxing. Kevin Torres, finally, it was the body shots and accumulation of body shots that finally took down a very game and a very courageous and tough Miguel Villalobos. Our next fight is going to be for the WBF Mexican title. It is going to be in the super flyweight division. Is going to be Gilberto Mendoza from Modesto, California, taking on Giovanni Andrade from Ensenada. I'm sorry, from Mexico City, Distrito de Federal. And you know, sometimes these titles may not seem that important, but you know, in the accomplishments for a fighter, those are so important because every step of the way leads to another bigger opportunity.
Yes, and people would always ask me, I've won the NABO and the WBC USA title, and they ask me, well, what does that mean? Well, what it means, Benny, is you get ranked. You get ranked by that organization, therefore you might even be top 10 in the world. You're definitely break the top 20, but even top 10 with these little small titles like this. And the ability to get ranked, you're going to get recognized in this sport.
And one of the fighters right now being introduced in the ring right now is the legendary Manuel Mantecas Medina, 5-time featherweight champion of the world, and a young man who I've had the pleasure of working many, many, many times and also announcing his fight, and an absolute delight. He is now training fighters here in Tijuana, and really highly respected guy. His knowledge, his preparation, he looks like he could fight at featherweight again right now.
Yeah, he's definitely kept in shape, hasn't blown up like some boxers do. But like you said, very well respected here in the city of Tijuana.
How many times have you seen? I remember when he said when he fought Nassim Hamed, he said he got hit so hard in the 3rd round, he doesn't remember anything from the 3rd round to the 11th round. He remembers nothing about that.
I didn't know that story. That's interesting you say that, but definitely, Ahmed, one of the hardest punching featherweights there ever was.
And one of the things he talked about, he said at 5'3", you couldn't see that bola punch coming. And that was an angle that you're just not accustomed to seeing. So therefore, how do you defend against something like that?
Yeah, very awkward from Naseem Hamed. So yeah, like you can't prepare for that in the gym. Like you get somebody with a similar style in the sparring, but who are you gonna get like Hamed? Not many guys.
That's right. And of course, he had some great fights. That fight he had against Johnny Tapia. That was another great fight that Mantecas Medina had with Johnny Tapia. I thought he won that fight, but they went ahead and gave it to Johnny Tapia. But again, those are part of the career of Manuel Mantecas Medina. And then you see Mantecas Medina there right off to the right.
Mundial de Boxeo. Aquí lo tienen.
As the fighters now being introduced, some of the great fighters. And that's always a fun time during a fight when these guys get to be introduced. I've gotten a chance to introduce you at a couple of fights, the Bobby D fights that we had down there in San Diego. So it's great for the fans to acknowledge you guys and show their appreciation for your efforts.
And that's what it is. You know, we're here for the crowd. So when we get appreciated, you know, like these guys are now, Manteca Medina, we appreciate it.
¿Cómo ha venido siendo tu campamento? ¿Cómo te sientes físicamente, mentalmente, anímicamente, en todos aspectos? ¿Cómo viene Marcos Forestal para enfrentar ese gran compromiso?
Bueno, estamos preparándonos muy bien, trabajando bien duro, me siento bien psicológicamente, todo está saliendo al 100%. I am professional, bro.
Ahí lo tienen, damas y caballeros, nuevamente un futuro campeón mundial, con un 5 veces campeón mundial. Y vamos a darle el último aplauso para despedirlos como se merecen a Manuel Mantecas Medina y Marcos Forestal de Guantánamo, Cuba. Y continuamos.
And some of the fighters being interviewed, some of the fighters get to come out here and enjoy their time watching. And it's always great because you get a chance to be in your environment. And sometimes these very guys you meet up here in an introduction, you end up facing later on.
Yeah, that may be. We've seen Marcos fight here before on Best in Boxing and Boristeca. Probably looking forward to seeing him fight again on these cards.
So Global Sports Streaming presenting Best in Boxing. From the Big Punch Arena here in Tijuana, Baja California. This is for the WBF Mexico title super flyweight division. It is going to be Gilberto Mendoza from Modesto, California, with 17 professional fights, taking on Giovanni Andrade from Mexico City, the capital, Mexico, the Distrito de Federal.
Benny, I'd like to enlighten you because I recently found this out because not too long ago, Mexico City is now just Mexico City. It is no longer Distrito Federal.
That's great. Mexico City, and of course, I got a chance to go down there and announce the Monday Night Football every year where they play the Monday Night Football. They sell it out in 30 minutes.
Wow.
30 minutes at $300 a ticket. Mexico loves American football.
I was unaware that they like it that much. I know it gets sold out, but that is quick.
Yeah, and of course, the all-time biggest attendance ever of an NFL game is in Mexico City, a preseason game between the Oilers, and it was the Oilers against the Dallas Cowboys. 1994 drew 119,000 people.
Wow.
And you know, they've shrunk Azteca Stadium.
Okay, I was unaware of that
they've shrunk because they put in all these suites. So now the capacity is about 88,000.
Still a lot of people.
They could pack that many if in fact they were able to expand that stadium. So, and again, when you talk about Mexico City, the great accomplishment of the Aztec, the indigenous pride of the Mexican people towards that culture that built the largest city in the world over a lake bed.
Yeah, over a lake bed.
It was a lake bed. It is now the largest city in the world.
And I believe that there's some buildings in Mexico City that sink each year. I don't know the number of inches, but I've heard this before, that on the Discovery Channel, I believe, that it sinks a few inches each year.
Well, when you got 25 million people on top of it, it's got to sink some way somehow.
Exactly, yeah.
That is a lot of people to have living in that particular area there. So, and I've always said that Mexico City, the air is so thick, you take a bite out of it, you get a taco.
I like it.
And now coming to the ring from Mexico City, this is Giovanni Andrade. What a great opportunity for Giovanni Andrade to come down here, win his very first title, the WBF Mexico title. And now from Central California, Modesto, California, this is Gilberto Mendoza. You see right there the promoter, Saul Rios, in the background there next to Manuel Medina. Saul Rios, who does the matchmaking and the promoting of these fights. So now, let's go to Pablo Flores for the official introduction.
Damas y caballeros, Boristeca Boxing Promotions y BIB, The Best in Boxing, presenta este encuentro pactado a 10 rounds por el campeonato de peso super mosca de la Federación Mundial de Boxeo en México. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your co-main event of the evening. Set for 10 rounds of boxing for the WBF Super Flyweight Mexican title. Sanctioned by the WBF President, el presidente Howard Goldberg. Supervisor in attendance, el supervisor en turno, Max Zúñiga Lavandera. Your 3 judges scoring this bout in ringside. Sus 3 jueces, Dr. Román Cruz, Antonio Villegas y Carlos de la Rocha. And your referee in charge of the action, su referee, Manuel Rincón. Y ahora, con el himno nacional de México, vamos a invitar a que nos acompañe al centro del cuadrilátero a la señora Liz Quides.
And we are going to get the singing of the Mexican national anthem before this title fight.
Patria, tus cielos de oliva, de la paz del arcángel divino, que en el cielo tu eterno destino por el dedo de Dios escribió. Mas si usare un extraño enemigo, profanar con su planta tu suelo, piensa patria querida, que el cielo un soldado en cada hijo te dio, un soldado en cada hijo te dio. Mexicanos al grito de guerra, del acero aprestar y el bridón, y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. Y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. ¡Viva México!
The Mexican national anthem
Ahora
sung
bien,
before
damas y
this WBF
caballeros, que nos siguen a
Mexico
través de
title.
la señal de BIB, The Best in Boxing, Fight Hub TV en YouTube. Y los presentes desde la nueva arena Big Punch Arena, en la frontera más visitada del mundo, Tijuana, Baja California, México. ¡Ajusten sus cinturones! Introducing to you first, the fighter standing in the blue corner, wearing the Mexican colors, green, white, and red. He officially weighs in at 115 pounds. Presentando ustedes en la esquina azul, vistiendo los colores mexicanos, verde, blanco y rojo, con un peso de 115 libras. As a professional, he stands with a record of 5 victories against 3 losses, 1 draw, and 4 of those victories coming by the fast way of knockout. Presenta un récord de 5 victorias, 3 derrotas, 1 empate y 4 de esas victorias por la vía del knockout. De la Ciudad de México, Giovanni Andrade. And his opponent across the ring, standing in the red corner, wearing black with gold and white. He's officially weighs 115 pounds. Y su rival en la esquina roja, vistiendo pantaloncillo color negro con oro y blanco, con un peso idéntico de 115 libras. He stands with a record of 10 victories against 6 losses, 2 draws, and 7 of those wins coming by the fast way of knockout. Presenta un récord de 10 victorias, 6 derrotas, 2 empates y 7 de esas victorias por la vía del cloroformo. Hailing out of Modesto, California, USA, Gilberto Mendoza. Y para dar las indicaciones finales, with the final instructions, here is your referee, Manuel Rincón.
Jóvenes, demuestren su profesionalismo haciendo una pelea buena, una pelea limpia. Recuerden, ya les di instrucciones en los vestidores. Choquen la mano, que hagan el mejor.
The final instructions by our referee, and we are ready for this WBF Mexico title. 10 rounds in the super flyweight division. Your principals in the ring, Gilberto Mendoza from Modesto, California. He's got on the white trunks with some tiger stripes on the side and a black belt. Taking on Mexico City's Giovanni Andrade, and he is going to be wearing the white and the tricolors of Mexico on the side, the green, the red, and the white. Mendoza likes to work off that jab, come in from a distance. Andrade, on the other hand, he is a wicked body puncher that wants to get inside. Mendoza doing a good job right now getting the best of it by trying to go ahead and work behind that jab.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of starting with the jab. Simply now he has to put combinations behind that jab.
For Andrade, tremendous advantage training in Mexico City at that altitude. So his lungs are extremely well conditioned for this type of fight.
Yeah,
you come down.
Yeah, you come down from altitude to sea level, and you should have slightly an advantage with the conditioning.
Gilberto Mendoza, on the other hand, comes from the central part of California, Modesto, California. Up 99, where it gets very, very hot. Andrade biding his time, almost as if he's disinterested.
Maybe that's the vibe he puts off, but I can guarantee you, Benny, that he's not disinterested.
A great opportunity to fight here to get the first of what hopefully will be many belts, the WBF Mexico title. And good left hand by Mendoza. That shot grazing off the nose of Giovanni Andrade.
Andrade seems very calm right now, maybe because he knows it's a 10-round fight, but he needs to pick it up a little bit.
Mendoza almost feeling like Andrade can't hurt him.
And Mendoza throws slightly long, awkward shots, awkward looping shots like that one right there. Nothing to set it up with, just kind of movement and then throws it.
Now that's got to be a pretty discouraging feeling on the part of Mendoza where he turns that punch and there's Andrade looking like ho-hum.
That has to do with the fact that he's not throwing it properly, and like I said, he's not setting it up with the jab or not too much movement. He's simply throwing it. So when you can see a shot, you can take it, you can block it.
A feeling out round in this first one. It is the first of a scheduled 10-rounder. Gilberto Mendoza, Giovanni Andrade. So I'm going to go with Mendoza on that first one.
Yeah, I believe Mendoza landed better shots than Andrade. Andrade was a little passive in that first round, didn't do much. But maybe he's just kind of getting the wheels rolling, heating up that engine. See what he does in round number 2.
There you see in the corner, this is Giovanni Andrade. Someone needs to wake him up, saying, you know what, you're in a fight.
Yeah, he still looks like he's uninterested, like you mentioned in that first round.
You need to take a little cappuccino, not Al Pacino, you know? See if that'll wake you up. Andrade looks keyed up for this opportunity to win this WBF Mexico title. Super flyweights, we are ready for round number 2 of a scheduled 10-rounder for the WBF Mexico title. Gilberto Mendoza, he has on the white trunks with the black belt. Giovanni Andrade, he has on the white trunks and the tricolors of Mexico, the red, the white, and the green along the side of his pants. I gave the first round to Gilberto Mendoza. I just thought he did more. How'd you score?
The same. I believe he did definitely more than Andrade. Andrade was too passive, wasn't throwing many shots, and he needs to be woken up.
Now you see Andrade trying to mix it up a little bit, trying to find a home for that uppercut and trying to close the distance a little bit more.
And this is what I expected more from a super flyweight bout is punches and bunches, and I think they're starting to heat up those engines and starting to slang them a little more.
Oh no, and all of a sudden Andrade slipped.
A punch did connect, but it was more of a slip or a step on by Mendoza.
I don't know if it's wet right there in the very center of the ring. See if the referee goes back to that spot. These guys are starting to find the range now. Figuring out the range they need to hit and starting to find a home. Giovanni Andrade, who trains Centro Otomi, which is a sacred grounds there where the Indians once resided, and a lot of fighters go there to train. Eric Morales used to do that.
That's in Toluca, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Juan Manuel Marquez also.
And the reason why they go up there, I actually fought Johnny Gonzalez in Toluca, and I recall simply walking the streets and feeling winded.
Yeah.
So you have to go there with a certain amount of time. Obviously, you have to go in shape, but with a certain amount of time because the altitude is pretty crazy up there.
Well, the great boxing trainer Nacho Berenstein preferred that for his fighters to go up there and put in the work in that high altitude. Now we got a better exchange out of these guys. Gilberto Mendoza, Giovanni Andrade exchanging leather.
And Andrade coming from that altitude and coming down to sea level, he's going to be able to do this all night, to throw those punches and bunches without worrying about getting tired, if he put in the work.
He's not even breathing yet. He looks so totally calm inside there. but he's going to have to pick it up here. It is scheduled for 10. This is going to be the end of the second round of a scheduled 10-rounder. At stake, the WBF Mexico title in the super flyweight division. See what the instruction is from Andrade's corner on what he should do here. And now you get the final seconds. Andrade starting to let it go, but I don't think he did enough in that round.
Yeah, Benny, I'm in agreement with you. He did pick it up, but he didn't do enough. I think Gilberto Mendoza landed still the better shots in that round. But that motor is going for Giovanni Andrade.
Let's get some of the action here in round number 2. Go back to it. See if we can find a definitive winner. And there's action from round number 2. That overhand right by Mendoza, leading with that.
And typical of a super flyweight bout is simply that, the exchanges, you know, those punches and bunches.
They can let it go, and they can let it go at a tremendous, rapid pace and can sustain it for long periods of time. Well, they put a lot of Vaseline over the right eye. Let's see if the referee wipes some of that off on the right eye of Gilberto Mendoza. As they wait for the bell, Gilberto Mendoza, Giovanni Andrade. Super flyweight division at stake, the WBF Mexico title. Mendoza with the white trunks and the animal prints along the side, along with the black belt. Andrade now seems to have woken up. I think he's realized he's in a fight here now, starting to launch some leather.
I think it's just some guys take a little bit longer to warm up. Get that blood going. You can warm up in the dressing room, but it's not the same as being inside the ring. I think that's the case with that.
But Christopher, explain why it's so important for a fighter to come into the ring warm, having worked up a sweat.
Because you need that motor going. You need to loosen up those muscles. You simply need it for the reason why you don't want to get hit cold. Because you get hit cold, you're going to get knocked out cold. You know, so you definitely need to have a good warm-up, good sweat in the locker room before you come out here and perform.
And good exchange here. Andrade getting the best of it so far. Now it's starting to figure out that distance and what to do when you get in that kill zone. Creating punching angles, dropping that hip, creating leverage, establishing the base of power. And here they come.
I like the calmness by Andrade. I know at the beginning we're mentioning his calmness, how it being a negative factor in the fight. But right now, as the fight's progressing, I think it's good that he's so calm. He's able to take those shots. He's able to land his own and just simply truck it forward.
Now, neither fighter has gone 10 rounds. So this is a tremendous step up, and you're navigating in unknown waters.
Yeah, and like I mentioned right now, I would give the advantage going a long distance to Giovanni Andrade because he's so calm. Overexerting himself is Mendoza. That's going to get him tired.
And I think one big mistake Gilberto Mendoza is making is not working the body enough for Giovanni Andrade. And especially in a 10-round fight, Christopher, you got to work that body, right?
Yeah, if you want to have an advantage over your opponent in the later rounds, you need to attack the body. You need to wear him down.
Andrade now doing a good job of closing that space and creating punching angles from different sides.
A big factor here for me is the fact that Andrade is putting on that mental pressure. Yes, he's coming forward. He's not landing big shots on Mendoza, but the fact that he just keeps coming and coming and coming, it's going to wear on Mendoza mentally.
Andrade's not been able to put combinations. What he is landing is pot shots. Good left hand right there by Andrade. And now throwing punches from awkward angles, Christopher, coming down below the belt of Mendoza and striking the head and the torso.
Yeah, it's that awkwardness from Mendoza that's putting him out of position with those looping shots.
Well, just when you think he's in a position where he can't throw a punch, you realize, wow, where did that come from? Because he did throw the punch and landed.
Yeah, well, that's his style. I mean, he's adjusted himself to it. He's able to throw from weird angles.
And that is round number 3, and I'm going to go with an Andrade round. And now, all of a sudden, we're going to test the physical level of Gilberto Mendoza.
Yeah, you're right, Benny. We're going to test the conditioning of Mendoza.
Let's take a look at some of the action from round number 3 with these guys exchanging combinations. There's Andrade landing.
And you gave the round to Andrade, and mainly because of that, the calmness and him being able to strike back with the awkwardness of Gilberto Mendoza coming at him.
I thought the frequency by which he landed and then the heaviness of the punches, I think all those things benefited Giovanni Andrade. And look at him, he's not even breathing. And there's that, they applied a lot of Vaseline on the right side. I don't see a cut. Maybe that is a cut. Above the right eye of Gilberto Mendoza.
I think they're just trying to get the punches to slip off him from Giovanni Andrade.
It is round number 4 of a scheduled 10-rounder at stake. The WBF Mexico title. Your principals in the ring, they are Gilberto Mendoza from Modesto, California, in the white trunks with a black belt. Giovanni Andrade from Mexico City in the white trunks with the tricolors of Mexico, the red, the green, and the white along the side. Andrade had his best round in the last round, the 3rd round. See if he continues.
I like the fact that Gilberto Mendoza went back to boxing, using his jab, using lateral movement, and no looping shots yet. Nothing but jabs and straight rights.
I think the key for Mendoza is to continue boxing, but also he has to step to his left. Keep moving laterally, don't go back.
Yeah, that's what's been effective for him this first minute, is using those angles, boxing.
See, all of a sudden, Andrade all of a sudden look like he woke up again. And 2 shots. Here comes Andrade.
And he got Mendoza's attention. You know what, Benny? That was a good combination by Andrade, but I see his right eye swelling up a little bit, and he's bleeding from the nose right now. So we'll see how that bothers him as the rounds progress.
Andrade's nose?
Yeah, he had a little trickle of blood.
Yeah, on the left nostril, I can see it now.
And his right eye is slightly swelling.
The man from Mexico City, Giovanni Andrade, trying to mount an attack here. Mendoza keeps trying to box from the outside. Really important for Mendoza that as he boxes, move laterally. You go straight back and you're going to get hit by Andrade.
And this is a good comeback round for Mendoza. The fact that he's kept it up already for almost 2.5 minutes says a lot about his conditioning, because he's moving, throwing punches, evading shots like he's doing there.
And now he's moving around laterally, side to side. Great movement by Gilberto Mendoza.
think Andrade is feeling a little bit of urgency now with this movement from Mendoza.
Yeah, but he's just kind of pawing that jab. It's not really a sharp jab. Andrade trying to be sneaky, landing that a pot shot, but an uppercut. See that uppercut?
Yeah. Not being too effective with it. I get what you're saying. And Mendoza landing good shots coming over the top.
I think this is a Mendoza round. He's been more active. He's been more precise. He's landed the harder shots. Andrade, as Christopher mentioned, problem with his nose. Breathing seems to be a strain right now for Giovanni Andrade. And those misses, when you miss that clean, that takes a lot of energy. Both of them right there exchanging simultaneously.
There was a good shot to the body by Andrade in that little exchange.
Yeah, that was not an earthquake, folks. That was the punching by these two guys. And we've got 4 rounds in the book. And I'm going to go with Gilberto Mendoza in that round.
Yeah, Mendoza definitely came back strong in that round. Switched his game plan from the earlier rounds. Giovanni Andrade seems puzzled now.
You see it? Let's see some of the action again in round number 4. As we see Mendoza and Andrade exchanging. Both of them landing. Now, when you miss that cleanly, how much energy is taken out of you when you do that?
It takes a lot of energy to swing your hardest and miss. Thinking you're going to land and you miss, you're definitely going to wear more than if you throw and, let's say, hit the glove, hit the elbows. Because you're not used to, most boxers are not used to throwing and missing. So props to Gilbert Mendoza for making him miss.
And you see the right eye of Gilberto Mendoza. They keep applying that Vaseline, and they're going to dry out that area, that red corner. He's asking the referee to dry it out. As we take the time. And this is round number 5 of a Schedule 10 rounder at stake. The WBOF Mexico title in the super flyweight division. Your combatants, Gilberto Mendoza in the white trunks with the black belt. Giovanni Andrade with the tricolors of Mexico along the side of his white pants, the red, the white, and the green. Unofficially, I have Gilberto Mendoza winning this fight. We'll see how the 3 judges score it. They did a good job of stopping the blood from the nose of Giovanni Andrade, but that doesn't mean he could breathe out of it.
Benny, I want to take the time, quick lull in the action, say hi to my friends, Victor Heredia, Pablo Picasso. They're watching us live. Best in Boxing, Boristeca Boxing, and giving us feedback that we're doing a good job here on the broadcast.
Well, the fighters make it easy for us. When these guys come to fight like this, makes it a joy. Global Sports Streaming. We're at the Big Punch Arena here in Tijuana, Baja California. We'll see if Giovanni Andrade can get that 2nd, 3rd, and 4th win. And right hits the ear hole of Gilberto Mendoza with that left.
Yeah, up until that moment, Gilberto Mendoza was doing a good job of doing what he did in the previous round, was boxing. But there he goes back to boxing, putting his combinations together, pop-shotting Giovanni Andrade.
You know, that's a fascinating thing about the human body. You look at the body of Giovanni Andrade, and you would think this guy couldn't fight. But then all of a sudden, you see him in there, And you see him apply all the different techniques.
Yeah, he's definitely well schooled. Especially in boxing, you can't judge a book by its cover. My dad has a famous story of my brother when he was an amateur boxer back in the day. He said that my brother was adamant that he was going to whoop this guy's butt because he looked so skinny. He's like, oh, I got him, Dad. I got him. I'm going to knock him out. Comes out for the fight, and this guy rings my brother's bell. And my dad, the way he exaggerates the story is that he looked over to the corner and he saw my dad, and he gave him a look of surprise. And the fighter from LA took over. My brother lost, but you can't judge a book by its cover.
Absolutely not. These guys exchanging back and forth. Gilberto Mendoza, Giovanni Andrade, both trying to win this belt. The WBF Mexico title. Great job by the corner from both fighters, stopping blood. To the right eye of Gilberto Mendoza. And from the nostril, Giovanni Andrade. Good short punch by Andrade. And now here comes Mendoza.
This fight has definitely been picking up as the fights progressed. The conditioning of Gilberto Mendoza, being able to keep moving and boxing and punching at the same time is commendable. Like I tip my hat to him. Giovanni Andrade is coming strong. He's coming in with conditioning from a high altitude, but he's still unable to put his shots together.
Not able to land combinations. And here's the exchange at the final seconds of round number 5. Tick away. Another close round. Boy, that's a tough one to score. I'm gonna go with Andrade. Let's take a look at some of the exchange from round number 5. See if you guys can come up with a definitive winner from that round. That's a one-shot deal. Then he waits. Here's one shot. There's another one shot. Try to put a combination.
And he's throwing those shots from his hips. No real fundamentals. No boxing fundamentals. Hands up. Nothing. He's just throwing wing and leather.
Good exchange right there. So now we reach the second half of this fight. This is going to be the 6th round. There's the blood. And Christopher, that blood is, I mean, and the sweat, it's going right in his eye. You can see he's having difficulty seeing out of that.
It's a small cut. I think the corner's doing a good job. They've been buttering him up since the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round. So with all that grease, they're doing a good job of holding on.
Referee warning both fighters to watch their head. No head clashes. Round number 6 of a scheduled 10-rounder at stake. The WBF Mexico title. These are super flyweights. Gilberto Mendoza in the white trunks with the black belt. Giovanni Andrade from Mexico City with the Mexican tricolors along the side of his trunks. All of a sudden now, and Mendoza choosing to attack the body of Andrade, which would not be a bad idea at this particular point in the fight.
You want to stop a fighter from coming forward and putting pressure on you, go to his body. I guarantee you he's going to think twice about coming into that pocket.
In the corner, Mendoza, the trainer's telling him to take that one, land that one shot, step back, and then come in with another one. Andrade doing a good job of keeping his hands up high. And again, good job of countering by Giovanni Andrade. And the blood now is coming out of the left nose of Andrade.
Mendoza's giving Giovanni Andrade trouble with that movement. Every time he sits still, Andrade just gains momentum and throws his shots and lands them. But every time Gilberto Mendoza gets on his toes and moves like he just did there, Andrade has a hard time. And a little bit of frustration I see in his face and in his body language when he decides to move Mendoza.
Mendoza doing a good job of using those gloves as a great shield against the punches of Andrade. And now the blood now is really coming out of the nose of Giovanni Andrade. And that'll make it more and more difficult for him to be able to breathe, to freely breathe through his nose. And good straight right hand right there by Gilberto Mendoza. And a good right hand by Andrade.
Good combination by Andrade. Not enough to win the round though. Mendoza has been dominating the whole round. Giovanni Andrade is going to have to step up his work rate if he wants to keep up with Mendoza's pace.
Mendoza definitely winning this round, doing a great job. But there's no quit in Giovanni Andrade. He just keeps coming back and back. The final seconds, the corner of Andrade is going to have to work on that nose. All of a sudden, the movements has been stifled. Giovanni Andrade not moving as well. That is the Mendoza round in my card.
Yeah, absolutely. Gilberto Mendoza dominated that round. I see Giovanni Andrade kind of quitting on himself.
Now let's see them work on the nose of Giovanni Andrade. Let's see some of the action in round number 6. There's Andrade trying to go ahead and look at the blood out of his nose.
Yeah, he's definitely having a hard time breathing. So that conditioning he came in with, it's not going to help him too much if he continues to bleed like that, Benny.
There they are working on that nose. It is round number 7 coming up of a scheduled 10-rounder. Fighting for the WBF Mexico title, Gilberto Mendoza from Modesto, California. They started out as white trunks. Now they look more like silver. The trunks of Gilberto Mendoza, Giovanni Andrade in the white trunks. It has been the nose of Giovanni Andrade that's given him trouble. The right eye of Gilberto Mendoza has also been exposed, and it's blood. The corner doing a good job of stopping that.
Yeah, they've done a good job of maintaining the blood getting into his eye.
Tremendous physical condition being exemplified by both of these fighters. They're both in great physical shape. And now you can notice right away right there, Christopher, the difficulty breathing on the part of Giovanni Andrade.
Yeah, like I mentioned in the last round, he seems a little frustrated, and that might be it, Benny, the fact that he can't breathe. You can't breathe, you're not going to be comfortable throwing heavy shots. I think Gilberto Mendoza knows it, and he continues to move, continues to pop shot Andrade. And I believe since the 4th round on, he's been controlling this fight, has Mendoza.
Neither has gone 10 rounds. Uncharted waters for both of these two fighters. Round number 7. Another shot right to the nose of Andrade. Mendoza just teeing off on that nose.
I like the way he changed his game plan from the earlier rounds to now for Mendoza. The fact that he noticed that he would have a more difficult time if he stood there and he fought with Andrade than if he boxed him. He's doing a wonderful job of simply boxing, evading those shots with his head movement, with his footwork. He's doing a very good job, is Andrade.
I think in the corner of Andrade's trainer, he's going to have to go back and take him aside and say, you know what, you need to attack that body more. He has not slowed down Mendoza sufficiently enough to be effective. Mendoza just keeps coming back with that jab.
They're kind of falling into this monotone pace because Gilberto Mendoza just keeps boxing him, putting a boxing clinic on pretty much. And Giovanni Andrade is walking forward, not throwing too many shots. Seems like he kind of gave up on himself.
Mendoza stays that good right hand, just grazed the chin of Giovanni Andrade.
Beautiful right hand by Mendoza.
Andrade all of a sudden is trying to load up on shots. But Christopher, he's not looking for combinations. He's predominantly pot shotting, just one shot at a time.
I think it's because of the movement of Mendoza. So he noticed that if he throws, Mendoza's not going to be there.
That's two clean misses right there. I thought these rounds were a little bit longer than 3 minutes. So we're going to have to get...
Yeah, I believe the timekeeper is not doing a good job in extending the 3-minute mark.
I think that is another Mendoza round. Let's take a look at Mendoza and some of the work that he's doing, especially with his right hand.
And that was a good way to set it up with simply a jab. Earlier he was doing it with his movement, and right here he went back to boxing fundamentals and put a jab before that right hand. That's one of the first things you're taught, aside from walking the first day you walk into the gym, that 1-2. Why do you throw a jab? To set up that right hand.
Gilberto Mendoza from Modesto, California. Let's give a big hand to his corner, who did such a great job in preparing him for his very first 10-round fight.
Yeah, he's definitely in shape. You know, he's throwing punches. And like we mentioned right now with these extended rounds, they're 3+ minutes. I don't know what's happening with the timekeeper, but if you guys feel at home that these are longer than usual, it's because they are.
It is round number 8 of a scheduled 10-rounder. Fighting for the WBF Mexico title, Gilberto Mendoza from Modesto, California. In the very wet white trunks that are now silver against Giovanni Andrade from Mexico City. Got a little problem here with our timekeeper, who has the trouble trying to figure out what 3 minutes are, because these have all been extended beyond that 3 minutes. And I thought a particular one, because I thought I heard that the final 10 seconds, and it just kept going and going and going. Gilberto Mendoza still throwing punches, still moving, still making a difficult target for Giovanni Andrade to find.
Nice combination by Mendoza.
And you know what he's doing now too, Christopher, he's going down low, then coming back on top. Work your way at the body and then come back on top.
Yeah, slowly but surely he's putting on a boxing clinic on Giovanni Andrade.
And John, right there, Andrade ends up eating 2 shots.
The best thing for me for this fight for Gilberto Mendoza is the fact that he was able to adjust from those first couple rounds where Andrade seemed to kind of turn the tide, but Mendoza turned it back on him, moving, evading shots, and landing very solid shots on Giovanni Andrade.
We got a head clash right here. Over the eye. Andrade gets a little extra time right there. So far, it's been a very clean fight. That's the very first time we've had a clash of heads. The cut over the right eye of Gilberto Mendoza, and that was a slip. But he got a chance to drop a little body shot in there.
Snuck it in there, Marco Antonio Barrera style.
Andrade's from Mexico City, same place that Marco Antonio Barrera's from. Probably seen some videos of Marco Antonio Barrera.
He's a
good
professional
uppercut.
fighter. I'm sure he's seen Marco Antonio Barrera, even if he...
Now we're over 3 minutes right now. So obviously whatever clock that timekeeper has, I think it's set on 4 minutes. Is there a snooze? Is there a snooze button on a boxing? On a boxing clock?
And that's puzzling to me, the fact that a professional timekeeper has been making the same mistake over and over.
Andrade's loading up. There is the whistle, which means there's 10 seconds, but we don't know what 10 seconds is anymore. So technically, this is a 15-round fight if you count all the time in the extra time.
The extra minute. So, yeah, technically they've already gone more than 30 minutes with 8 rounds.
This is the 12th round.
Yeah.
Championship, and to think in the old days, they used to fight 15 rounds. Check out the counter punching here. And look at that, straight right hand.
Yeah, Mendoza doing a very good job of making Giovanni Andrade miss and then pay.
It's amazing, though. Andrade gets in there, and he's like looking at him eye to eye and doesn't even move. Does not move the head. Danny Garcia does that, too. He'll come in right in on you and look you straight in the eye, be in the susceptible area to be hit, defiant till the very end.
Yeah, absolutely. What Danny Garcia has, though, in order for that to work for him, is his punching power.
Yeah.
So he's got that equalizer with that punching power. I don't think that's the case for Mr. Giovanni Andrade here.
Mendoza appears to be the fresher of the two fighters. Round number 9 of a scheduled 10-rounder for the WBF Mexico title, super flyweight. Andrade trying to maneuver himself.
Good slip and counter by Mendoza.
And he's countered very effectively. And it's almost like a surprising counter, the way he's able to go ahead and kind of dip to the left and then come up with that straight right hand, right to the nose of Andrade. I think he's got a busted up nose, Andrade does.
I think he does as well. His corner did stop the bleeding, but who knows what's happening behind the scenes there.
See, those 4 shots right to the nose.
I like the style by Gilberto Mendoza. He's doing a good job of moving and punching, as we see there.
And he's very disciplined in the way he's going about it. And in order to do that, though, Christopher, you know that better than anybody else, you've got to be in tremendous physical shape.
Yeah, you have to be in tip-top shape. Not only that, you have to be mentally strong. I think Gilberto Mendoza is very mentally strong, as opposed to Giovanni Andrade, who in my opinion, gave up like around round 4 or 5 physically. Like, he just stopped trying. Technically, like, he's on autopilot. He's still trying, but not with the same vigorousness that he was in the first and second and third round.
Mendoza, on the other hand, has not slowed down at all. Not one iota. He has been stellar. He has been physical and relentless.
I think the only thing that could cap off this performance if Gilberto Mendoza is able to stop Giovanni Andrade. Just put his shots together a little bit more, continue to land combinations on Andrade. I think that would culminate the work that Mendoza has done.
Okay, so now the bell, a whistle should have gone off to say we got 10 seconds left. Yeah, and we've said that before, that this is actually the 12th round. Okay, so we've gone way past the 3-minute mark.
Yeah, so it's safe to say that these guys are in shape going 4-minute rounds.
No, it's been an absolute testament to both fighters' physical endurance, the way they've grinded out these rounds. These are 4-minute rounds. Maybe 5.
That I don't know. Let's have the truck put the timer on for the next one, and they could tell us.
They are going to sleep so well tonight, both of these fighters. They can sleep in the ring after this fight. They'll be so tired. 5 minutes, 12 seconds into round number 9. Oh, there's the bell.
There's the bell.
There's the whistle.
And hats off to these two gentlemen.
One more round coming up for the WBF Mexico title, super flyweight. Look at Mendoza, he can't even sit down. They finally got him to sit down. And take a look at some of the exchange in this 5-minute round.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Christopher's got his own clock out now. And look at this exchange. Two guys still just slugging it out.
And just so everybody at home knows, for the WBF Mexico title, we fight 5-minute rounds, UFC style.
And folks, try it at home. Try it at home. Put a set, get out your smartphone, and see if you can time it out. Time out the round.
It'd be great that after 9 completed rounds, the ring timer goes ahead and gets it right on round number 10.
So we are ready for round number 10. It is the final round for this WBF Mexico title, super flyweight. The two combatants in the ring, Gilberto Mendoza, Giovanni Andrade. And our announcer, Pablo Flores, getting the crowd excited about this 10th and final round. And you can see the clock right there on the right. And then I hope you're timing it at home as well. Giovanni Andrade with the white trunks and the Mexican flag, the tricolors, red, white, and green. The man from Modesto, California, Gilberto Mendoza.
And Mendoza came out with a purpose in this round, throwing hard shots right off the bat.
He didn't even want to sit. He wanted to stay standing in between rounds, and his corner finally convinced him to go ahead and take a seat. Good uppercut right there by Andrade. I think Andrade knows he needs a knockout. Mendoza still keeps throwing shots. Good exchange right here by both fighters. Launching leather all the way into the 10th and final round.
You're right, Benny. Good exchange, but Andrade needs to bring his hands up after he throws. He throws the shots, and he leaves his hands down there by his waist.
Neither one of these two fighters have gone 10 rounds. First time. Good right hand. Mendoza stopped Andrade in his tracks with that one. Andrade's not seeing that right hand at all. This is a great opportunity for Mendoza here to throw that right hand over the left glove of Andrade. They have not diminished the pace that they set in that first round. This has been constant from the first round on. This is a leather launching exhibition by both of these fighters, but especially Gilberto Mendoza.
I like that. Leather launching.
But you know, you see Mendoza, dude. He's got tremendous defensive skills. Anticipates the shots and then ducks that head beautifully.
He does, and sometimes he punches off that head movement, which has been very important for him winning this fight, because Andrade never caught on to that movement.
We've got Christopher's clock, and right now we're at 3 minutes. We're at 3 minutes, folks.
So we're at 3:05, and we haven't heard a 10-second bell. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Mendoza taking the fight to Andrade. We're at 3:22, 3:24. And the referee tells the two fighters, combatants, to get it on. And finally at 3:38,
a 10-minute whistle.
3:33, we get a whistle. And these guys keep slugging it out to the very end. 3 minutes, 49 seconds unofficially. The time. Officially, 3 minutes.
That's crazy.
What a fight! And I think Gilberto Mendoza is going to get his very first title, the WBF Mexico title in the super flyweight division. Giovanni Andrade put on a great battle himself. And watch this. This is the final 10 seconds, folks. And this is the pace that was established from the opening bell.
From the opening bell, they never stopped throwing that leather. Like you said, a leather launching exhibition. I'm going to use that from now on, Benny.
And there you go. The referee in between. You know, you wonder, Christopher, does a referee have, mainly from doing so many fights, a clock in their head that would kind of say the instinct, say, you know, this is longer than 3 minutes?
No, you absolutely do. As a fighter especially, you know. And when you're in shape, usually the rounds go by fast. So maybe that's why these guys didn't catch on. But the referee should have caught on.
And even the corner, you think the corner would have objected to the length of the rounds. All right, so we are ready here for Pablo Flores is still waiting for the cards. I wonder if that's going to take 4 minutes to get. Gilberto Mendoza, Giovanni Andrade. For Mendoza, who's now in double digits, let's see if he can pick up his 11th win of his career, coming down here all the way from Modesto, California. Giovanni Andrade, even a longer John. He's coming all the way from Mexico City to Tijuana. So Pablo Flores is still gathering the cards from the 3 judges who scored the fight. I have the fight for Gilberto Mendoza.
Yeah, absolutely. Giovanni Andrade did a little bit, or did some work in the beginning rounds, but I believe in the 4th round, I think it was, that Mendoza simply took over.
Let's go back now and take a look at some of the action. Round number 10. The final seconds of a 4 minutes and 48-second round. Look at these two guys. This started in the first round with this kind of pace, and they kept it right on. Gilberto Mendoza and these two fighters now congratulate each other. Tremendous sportsmanship, as is customary here in Mexico. So I think Pablo Flores now is ready with the decision.
And ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we now go to the judges' scorecards. Después de 10 rounds de combate, tenemos la decisión de los jueces, no sin antes un fuerte aplauso para Mendoza y Andrade. Big round of applause for these two warriors tonight. Judge, el juez Carlos de la Rocha, he scores it 98-92. 98-92. Antonio Villegas scores it 96-94. Y Román Cruz, he scores it 95-95 even. 95-95. For your winner by the way of majority decision. Su ganador por la vía de la decisión mayoritaria. He is the new WBF Super Flyweight Mexico Champion, el nuevo campeón de la Federación Mundial de Boxeo, Gilberto Mendoza.
Wow, a 95-95.
I definitely don't see that score. I agree with the first judge with 8 rounds to 2. I believe Gilberto Mendoza won 8 rounds out of 10. Giovanni Andrade brought it strong in those first 2-3 rounds, 2nd and 3rd round, but that's it. After that, he kind of just went on autopilot.
Gilberto Mendoza from Modesto, California, goes 10 rounds for the first time in his career, and now wears the WBF Mexico title belt in the super flyweight division. But then, Christopher, you score fights, and in different countries, you know, that's one of the things I always tell fighters. Don't get mad at the judges for how they scored it. Instead, go over there and ask them why they scored it the way they did, and you learn how to win fights. Because sometimes that what you are doing in a fight may not, through the judge's eyes, be seen as an advantageous position or definitely a way that you're winning the fight. So you got to learn how to win a fight.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think young fighters, even veteran fighters, such as myself, could probably learn something from what you just said. Go up to the judges. What did you see? What should I have done? What can I do better?
Because 95-95 to me is shocking.
Definitely shocking. I don't agree with that. I think, like I said, Mendoza did very well. And 8 rounds to 2, to me, that's my opinion. Mr. Or the judge's name escapes me, but 95-95, that's on him. That's his opinion as well.
And a bit of an odd occurrence here to also witness repeated rounds exceeding the 3 minutes, some by over a minute.
Yeah, that's that's absurd for it to happen. In a professional boxing contest, you know, that's why we have refs. That's why we have judges. But we have one specific guy for a timekeeper, and he couldn't even do his job properly right there in that last fight.
In fact, that's all he has to do.
Yeah, keep time.
Well, at least he got the rounds right, 10 rounds. But then again, if we add up the total amount of time that was used, then we're talking about that was like the old times, a 15-round fight. So we got one more for you tonight. Alejandro Espinoza, the undefeated fighter from Monterrey, Nuevo León. Nuevo León. He is 10-0. He's going to be taking on Jesus Osuna from Tijuana.
And in the same weight division, super flyweight.
So maybe that's an eventual opponent for Gilberto Mendoza. Alejandro Espinoza for the future. We'll see if that takes place.
Yeah, and the fans at home can see and gauge what that matchup would be like if Alejandro Espinoza gets through Jesus Osuna.
And the fighters now are being called to the ring, and we'll have our last fight of the night. Boristeca, the promoter that puts on these fights here at the Big Punch Arena in Tijuana, Baja California. Global sports streaming, presenting the best in boxing, Fight Up TV. And this is Jesus Osuna from Tijuana, Baja California.
No robe, no shirt, straight to business, Jesus Osuna.
That's one thing in this city. You have no trouble getting sparring if you are in that featherweight division, or even the welterweight division now is starting to get more and more fighters.
Yeah, definitely in Tijuana. I would say Mexico is the mecca for the lighter weights. You know, me being Mexican, I could attest to that. We're just small people, small guys with a big heart.
And this is Alejandro Canito Espinoza. He is undefeated 10-0 from Monterrey, Nuevo León. He is being promoted by Round Zero Promotions. Jose Antonio El Charro being the man in charge of him. Jose Antonio El Charro, who has produced many world champions from Mexico. And we are ready now to go with Pablo Flores with the official introduction of the two fighters. Our main event of the evening.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event of the evening. Damas y caballeros, este es el combate estelar de esta noche. Está pactado a 8 rounds en la división de peso super mosca. Set for 8 rounds of boxing in the super flyweight division. Presentado a ustedes por Boristeca Boxing Promotions, la mejor promotora internacional, y BIB, the best in boxing. Sus 3 jueces, Carlos de la Rocha, Iván Velasco y Ángel Viedas. Y el tercero en la superficie para medir las acciones, your referee in charge, el profesor Fernando Rentería. Introducing the fighter standing in the blue corner, wearing blue trunks with gold in yellow. He officially weighs in at 115 pounds. Presentando ustedes en la esquina azul, vistiendo pantaloncín color azul con oro y amarillo, con un peso de 115 libras. He stands with 10 professional bouts. Cuenta con 10 combates profesionales del barrio Bravo del Florido. Jesús Calancho Osuna. And his opponent across the ring is standing in the red corner, wearing red trunks with blue and silver. He officially weighs in at 115 pounds. Y su rival en esquina roja, vistiendo pantaloncillo color rojo con azul y plata, con un peso idéntico de 115 libras. He stands with an unblemished professional record of 10 wins, no losses, and 5 of those wins coming by the fast way of knockout. Presenta un récord perfecto de 10 victorias, 0 derrotas y 5 de esas victorias por la vía del knockout. El invicto de la Sultana del Norte, Monterrey, Nuevo León, México, Alejandro Canito Espinoza. And here is with the final instructions, con las indicaciones finales, el profesor Fernando Rentería. 8 rounds, 8 rounds.
Pelea limpia, ¿ok? No quiero cabezazos, no quiero amarres, no quiero golpes en la nuca ni bajo el cinturón. Hagan una pelea bonita, choquen guantes, suerte, gane el mejor. Cuídense.
The final instructions from the referee. We are ready. This is an 8-rounder, our main event of the evening. Your principals in the ring, Alejandro Canito Espinoza, undefeated with the 10-0 record. He is going to be wearing the red trunks with the blue. Jesus Osuna in blue and gold. Espinoza is a very disciplined fighter, works off that jab, tremendous body puncher. Osuna, on the other hand, is going to try to make this into a street fight and see if he can change the expected outcome. Espinoza, a heavy favorite. Espinoza comes out wearing soccer socks.
And he's got a good style, does Espinoza, moving his head.
Osuna's trying to get there first. Good technique on the part of Espinoza, the way he's rolling that head.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of evading those shots from Jesus Osuna, who's just throwing nothing but power. See how long he can keep that up for.
Espinoza has not started his attack on the body because he has a wicked attack on the body. He's got as wicked attack as you want to see. Even DMV doesn't want the organisms to come out after he gets done with somebody. Brutal attack.
That's the first time in a long time that I've seen the wind-up punch from anybody, and Jesus Osuna managed to accomplish it right here in the first round.
He's going to try anything against Espinoza, I'll tell you that.
And throwing wild shots. I like how Alejandro Espinoza is keeping his cool.
Yeah, because Osuna's an awkward fighter.
Very awkward fighter.
Good left hand now, trying to find a home. Watch Espinoza's right hand to the body. Does a great job of just clearing out that space.
Yeah, but so far, Benny, I think you have to give the round to Jesus Osuna with just sheer activity. He's not landing the best of shots, but so far, Espinoza's not doing much to capitalize on his awkwardness from Osuna.
Christopher, it's going to be a 6-minute round. Trust me, he'll come around.
All right, so we're coming up on 250. We should be hearing the 10 seconds, but nope.
And Osuna right there getting nothing but air. And a right hand right to the ear hole of Jesus Osuna. Espinoza. Getting around to past the 3.5-minute mark.
And that was a good left hook by Jesus Osuna.
I think Osuna's going to steal this round. We are in round number 3 already, the way the clock is going. These fighters got to be asking themselves, boy, this is one long round.
Yeah, especially the first round. Yeah, we're coming up on close to 4 minutes, and round's still going.
Have you located the timekeeper?
I think he went home.
Espinoza chasing down Jesus Osuna.
I think he's clocking in the time from his car or something, because
I mean, the referee should suspect now that it's gone past 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And now we go, yeah, we're over 4 minutes.
4 minutes into the first round. That's probably not something that I'm going to say ever again in the boxing
And there,
match.
we finally get the bell in round number 1. And that is going to be, how do you score that one?
With the sheer activity of Jesus Osuna, I was giving him the round, but with that extra minute they gave Espinoza, I think he took over.
There's that right hand landed and a left.
Yeah, like I said, Benny, I think with that extra minute that they gave Alejandro Espinoza, I think he managed to win that round.
So it is scheduled for, and you can see right there, he's exhausted after
He's exhausted
one round.
already after that 4-minute first round.
Trains out of the Pollito gym in Tijuana here. So we are ready for round number 2 of our main event. It is an 8-rounder. Alejandro Espinoza, the undefeated fighter from Monterrey, Nueva León, taking on Jesus Osuna in blue from Tijuana, Baja California.
And Espinoza measuring more distance now, landing his jab and a good right hand coming after.
3 punches that found its mark, launched by Espinoza. But again, you talked about the awkwardness, the awkward Jesus Osuna. And so therefore, Espinoza's had to be a bit cautious, especially when he lunges in there.
He does lunge. He's a very awkward fighter. He's coming at him with his hands down. Not something you typically see with the Ivan Drago haircut as well. And he keeps adjusting those shorts. You know, if they're too tight, too loose, up high.
Canito, Alejandro Espinoza.
And there he goes with the waistline check.
You know, some fighters have little habits that are a bit awkward. Watch out, Espinoza sticks out his tongue.
Ooh, good left hook.
Trying to time it out, Espinoza. Trying to catch Osuna coming in. Starting to figure out the awkwardness of Osuna. Little bolo punch.
There you go, another wind-up punch.
Osuna loading up on those shots, stopping Espinoza in his tracks.
He didn't land the first 3 and he throws a 4th one. Overhand right, the way he throws it.
There's that uppercut. Espinoza finds that a home for that uppercut, it's going to be over.
That's what he needs to do.
That's what I was expecting from him.
Yeah, body
I described
shots.
him as a wicked body puncher. And so far, because of the awkwardness of Osuna, hasn't been able to mount that body attack.
I think he just simply needed to warm up, get used to the awkwardness of Jesus Osuna, and now he's throwing to the body.
Oh my God, that wasn't quite 3 minutes.
Okay, so in the first round we go over the 3-minute mark, and here in round number 2 we go 2 minutes 44 seconds. So this guy can't get it right. He's having a rough day in the office.
He's got us. He's using solar energy, and there's no, there's no sun tonight. Let's take a look at Alejandro Espinoza here launching some combinations. Well, they've been one shot pot shots right there by Espinoza.
And it was very good timing by Alejandro Espinoza. He was able to evade the shots from Jesus Osuna and land his own power shots.
This is round number 3 of a schedule 8-rounder. This is our main event of the evening. Global Sports Streaming, presenting the best in boxing. Jesus Osuna with a great opportunity here, taking on an undefeated Alejandro Espinoza in red. We're in the red trunks. Espinoza has not been able to put those combinations together to thwart the Osuna attack. Osuna, on the other hand, has been to his benefit to be awkward.
I don't think he has another style, Benny. He's just awkward.
And that's pretty good by Espinoza. He's rolling off that, but starting out low and then coming up on top.
Yeah, he's using the hook to the body, hook to the head. Now what he should do is vice versa. Hook to the head, hook to the body.
Sports is rhythm, folks. Getting that beat. Well, I'd like to see that fight. Espinoza against Mendoza.
Yeah, somebody as well schooled as Espinoza, how he would deal with the movement, lateral movement of Gilberto Mendoza. That'd be an interesting fight.
There's that uppercut. Uppercut by Espinoza, finding the chin of Osuna.
And like you mentioned in the first round, he wasn't throwing body shots, but now he is, and he throws a very solid Mexican-style left hook to the body.
There he is. He's looking for it now.
Yeah, he's looking for it. Yeah.
There it is, that delayed response, where all of a sudden you can't even pop the mouthpiece out of your mouth because of the lack of air.
He definitely landed a hard shot, did Espinoza. Made Osuna doubt himself.
Espinoza has decided to attack the body of Osuna, and it's paying dividends. Osuna now protecting that body, leaving the head open.
And once Espinoza started throwing to the body, it opened up a whole set of other punches on Osuna, which weren't there in the first and second round.
Straight right hand by Espinoza.
Oof. Beautiful left hook to the body.
And last time it was 2 minutes 44 second round. Now we're already at 3:18, 3:20. Espinoza.
Oye, jefe.
You go to the corner right there. Jesus Osuna, and he's in pain. Let's see if he can continue. Look at the expression on his face.
Yeah, he's hurting. He's hurting. He's definitely hurting right now. And it's when Alejandro Espinoza decided, I need to throw to the body.
I mentioned that when you take that body of the shot, how you even in the jaw you feel it, and it's a very, very tough, especially when you have that. You can't even spit the mouthpiece out because you don't have any air. You feel like your legs. Watch this shot.
It wasn't that one, but it would be following that combination that Espinoza threw.
So we are in round number 4 of a schedule 8-rounder. This is our main event of the evening. Your combatants in the ring, they are Alejandro Espinoza, Jesus Osuna. Alejandro Espinoza from Monterrey, Nuevo León. Jesus Osuna from Tijuana, Baja California. Espinoza has mounted a body attack that has paid great dividends. He dropped Osuna in the last round in between rounds. Tremendous look of pain on the face of Jesus Osuna. His corner urging him on to keep on going. And Espinoza now relentless in his attack of the body of Jesus Osuna.
And if Jesus Osuna doesn't respond, he's going to force the ref to stop the fight. So he needs to come back with something. He hasn't really thrown a punch in the last 30 seconds or so.
Espinoza now just teeing off on him.
Going for broke is Osuna.
Pinning Osuna on the ropes is Espinoza and trying to create punching angles from there. And sometimes you need to air it out a little bit. Take that step back, air it out, and then mount your attack again.
Yeah, readjust. I know what you're saying.
Osuna, boy, he is some kind of tough. Espinoza just cracking him repeatedly, but look at him, he's still there.
Yeah, he just came back with a little left hook.
Look at that bomb.
Oh, wow.
Doing a nice, he still's got that presence of mind of rolling his head from side to side, rolling with those punches. Being warned of holding behind the head. Throwing shots, and then the referee in a good position, watching to see if Osuna and we get the whistle at 2:55, so we're over 3 minutes right now. And there we go, close enough. Another round for Alejandro Espinoza. From Monterrey, Nuevo León. Coming down here for this fight here. Came in a couple days early so he could prepare himself and acclimate himself totally. Did Alejandro Espinoza. Jesus Osuna, on the other hand, lives right here in Tijuana, Baja California. He was a substitute. They had a fighter from down in Cabo San Lucas who was supposed to be the opponent for Alejandro Espinoza. A fall out there at the end, so Jesus Osuna obliged, and here he is.
And doing a good job for taking a fight on such late notice. You know,
well, that's why you got to be weary of a record of a Mexican fighter, because they are anytime, anywhere, any weight type of warriors. They'll fight anybody anytime they can.
And it seems that that's the case for Mr. Jesus Osuna, taking on a guy that's 10-0 on a day's notice.
I remember Orlando Salido fought Wama Lopez, 11 losses. And they thought this would be an easy fight. They had no idea what they had in store.
Yeah, City Salido went to Puerto Rico.
Twice. And knocked him out. Senseless. Which forced the suspension of Wama Lopez for some of the things he said about
I believe
the
that was
referee and his son.
Yeah.
Osuna, though, here staying. And he looks like he's gotten his second win. You look at his eyes, and all of a sudden, he looks fresh.
Yeah, he's a tough fighter, man. I mean, like we mentioned earlier in this round, is the fact that he's taking it on super short notice. And He's coming to fight, man. He's coming to fight.
Round number 5 of a Schedule 8-rounder, our main event of the evening. Alejandro Espinoza in the red trunks has dropped Ozuna once. That was in the 3rd round. Ozuna recovered and appeared to be feeling excruciating pain from the look on his face, but then he came back out in the 4th and looked pretty good. Now, in the 5th round, he looks refreshed.
Now, Benny, there's a little bit of a lull in the action here, so let me sidestep you and let me get your prediction for next week's big fight.
I think Golovkin wins in convincing fashion.
In convincing fashion.
Absolutely. I think he's got to get away. I think something happened to Golovkin ever since that Danny Jacobs fight. Because I think in the Jacobs fight, he dropped him. And then after that, Jacobs seemed to get stronger and stronger. And all of a sudden, I saw a Golovkin revert to his amateur style and became a headhunter. And I think that hurt him against Canelo in the first fight because he was not looking to work the body. I talked to Matthew Macklin. He told me when he got hit by a body shot from Golovkin, he said he has never in his life felt that kind of pain.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another fighter, Ola Alfalabia, former WBO cruiserweight champion of the world, told me the hardest hit he's ever been hit is by Golovkin's overhand right. He says you never see it coming. It comes from the top and it comes down. And I think that, you know, from all the talk of the enhancement by Canelo, psychologically.
You think it's going to play?
Yeah, I talked to
head?
my friend Antonio Tarver, and he said definitely that's going to be a huge factor.
Okay. So you mentioned the body shots by Triple G, and I'd like to rebut with the fact that he couldn't. That Triple G could not throw body shots, or else he would get countered by Canelo's uppercuts. So I think that if he decides to go to the body more in this fight, he's going to get countered.
But let's see if he's got a strength being with that counter. Is he really a 160-pound fighter?
One more thing, one more observation that I made is that Canelo wore winning gloves. The only time you wear winning gloves in a professional boxing fight is if you live in Japan, or if you're over here on the West Coast, is you hurt your hands. And that's the stigma of wearing winning gloves, padded gloves. You know, he couldn't hurt Golovkin every time he hit him because he had those winning padded gloves. So if Canelo decides to wear those MX Everlast gloves like he normally wears, I think he knocks out Golovkin.
We'd love to see it. And again, that's the beauty of boxing. It's subjective. Everybody has their opinion. Everybody has a way of looking at it. But I really think that Golovkin comes out. If he fights like he did as a professional, don't revert. Because I always worry about fighters who've had 300 amateur fights.
I got you.
They come back and they're head hunting and they're pitter-pattering, squaring up the shoulders, and that doesn't bode well in the pro ranks. Again, psychologically, let's see how Canelo is.
Okay. Yeah, from that positive test.
Twice,
yeah.
And now Espinoza now trying. What's that?
It was contaminated meat. It's been proven.
Well, let's go eat something here. After this, we'll go to those taquerias. See if all of a sudden we get ripped. And good body shot right there. Jesus Osuna digging the body of Espinoza. Tremendous respect for Jesus Osuna, really. Here's a guy that looked like the 3rd round it was going to be over. But look at him. Recovered, got the 2nd win. Here he is, slugging it out with an undefeated fighter, Alejandro Espinoza. Espinoza in the red trunks.
And I reiterate, on 1 day's notice, what a tough guy.
Yeah. That's why you always have to keep yourself in great physical shape. You never know when the opportunity is going to present. Can you imagine Osuna comes out here and upsets an undefeated Alejandro Espinoza?
On one day's notice, that would be spectacular. Doesn't seem like it's happening. He's been getting dominated.
I knew an MMA fighter, an MMA fight I did, where Tony Lopez, he dropped 25 pounds in 2 days and won the fight.
Yeah, those MMA guys are well known for the cutting of the weight.
Yeah. And a lot of them are former wrestlers, so they're very familiar with that. The funniest thing I saw, though, I did a bare knuckle fight, and one of the fighters weighed at 284, and he was drinking a Pedialyte right after he got on the scale. I thought, really? You really had to emaciate yourself to make 284? And look at Osuna loading up on those shots.
Swinging for the fences.
You know, and if he times that out just right, they can catch Espinoza coming in. We go to the corner of Jesus Osuna, Pollito Jim. Pollito, which is Spanish for little chicken. Let's get some of the replay here. Alejandro Espinoza here trying to back up the very game, Jesus Osuna. See how he has a presence of mind to just roll that head? And that is a lost art.
It is a lost art. You know, like I mentioned earlier, James Toney was very good at that.
Duran used to do that.
Yeah, there you go.
Manos de Piedra. I'll never forget one time getting Roberto Duran a gig up at Chinook Winds Casino in Lincoln City. And I told him, I said, Roberto, the only thing is watch out for the tsunamis, because they get tsunamis. Wow. I said, so what you want to do is just pile up all the furniture against the window. And he did.
And he did. Nice.
Alejandro Espinoza in red taking on Jesus Osuna in blue. This is our main event of the evening. This is the 7th round of a scheduled 8-rounder. Osuna chasing now Espinoza. Osuna was dropped in the 3rd round from a body shot by Alejandro Espinoza, recovered from that.
And he hasn't really been hurt since.
Yeah, but the look on his face in between rounds was, he looked like he was having his leg amputated. Look at Osuna now attacking the body of Espinoza.
And props to Osuna, he continues to punch, he continues to try to win the fight, he throws hard shots. I mean, there's no real skill behind it, but he's throwing, man, he's trying to win this fight.
And you look at the body and you can see this is a well-conditioned fighter.
Yeah, he's in shape, man. He's got a 6-pack going. He's ripped up. Just doesn't have the skill, Benny.
But can you develop those skills?
You definitely can. Everybody can. But he either doesn't have the right teacher, he doesn't have the right discipline. Something is wrong there.
Because from the very opening bell, you could tell the awkwardness. And whereas for the first round, that was actually effective because Espinoza was not able to mount an attack because of that. But then finally by the 3rd, Espinoza solved that and dropped him with a body shot.
And in this round, Osuna is walking forward on Espinoza. Oh.
Doubling up with that left is Espinoza. But again, does nothing to Osuna.
He just keeps coming forward. Charging forward with his hands down.
Tremendous chin, and that's one of the traits of the great Mexican fighters, or any Mexican fighter, just tremendous chin. Tremendous ability to withstand punishment. And the old saying, you got to eat one to land one. Well, they're definitely willing. He's coming in with his hand straight down, defiant.
Yeah, well put, defiant, just walking forward. He not caring, yeah.
One more to go. The corner, Espinoza. Again, the people in his corner, Jose Antonio El Charro, a man who's produced many, many Mexican champions. And there you have it. Round number 8 coming up, the 8th and final round of our main event. This is Jesus Osuna. Let's take a look at Alejandro Espinoza working the body of Jesus Osuna. There's a good body shot. And here it is, our 8th and final round. Alejandro Espinoza in red, Jesus Osuna in the blue trunks. We saw our earlier fight for the WBF Mexico title, Gilberto Mendoza winning by unanimous decision over Giovanni Andrade. I'm sorry, split decision.
It was a majority decision.
Majority decision, you're right.
And like you mentioned earlier, it'd be a good fight. The winner of this fight, which most likely will be Alejandro Espinoza versus the winner of the last fight, Gilberto Mendoza. Seems as though Alejandro's just cruising to victory right now.
Yeah, that 95-95 score a bit perplexing.
Oh, earlier, yes.
Remember the 118-110 score of Bird in the fight against with Canelo and Golovkin?
I'll be the first to say that that was absurd. You know, definitely wasn't a win by that big of a margin. But I still think that Canelo did enough in that first fight. And also, leading up to this fight, I think he has more tools to fix his downfall, which was inactivity.
He's got a great trainer. Espinoza now trying to go ahead and close out a show, and that is, if you're going to be a headliner, you better have a great closing act. Jesus Osuna, on the other hand, boy, has he shown us courage, grit, stamina.
What a hook by
absorbing
Espinoza.
shots, and it doesn't even affect Osuna.
And like you mentioned, close the show. Make people want to see you again for Alejandro Espinoza.
That's what every great headliner does. They save their best for last. Boy, you just wonder what Osuna could do if you could teach him how to attack the body of an opponent.
If you give him those fundamentals, I guarantee you he'd be a good fighter.
The final seconds. And these guys are letting it go. The 8th and final round, our main event. Alejandro Espinoza, Jesus Osuna slugging it out to the very end. And look at the corner of Jesus Osuna from the Pollito Gym, all smiling, having a great time right there. Then you get some of the action, the 8th and final round. Both guys just letting it go, Christopher.
With Espinoza getting the better of this exchange here.
And this time the clock was 2 minutes 40 seconds when they stopped the fight. time is of the essence, and time was inconsistent tonight.
Inconsistent, very inconsistent. I mean, did he make up when he would cut some rounds and then add them the next round? Only he knows what was going on back then.
It's like he was keeping time with Photoshop. He just kind of Photoshopped the ideal time.
Cut and paste. There you go.
Cut and paste. Cut and paste. So we're going to get our official decision here as we wait Pablo Flores to get his microphone ready. I think Pablo Flores is ready with the decision. So let's go to Pablo Flores.
Damas y caballeros, después de 8 rounds de combate tenemos la decisión de los jueces. After 8 rounds of boxing, we now go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges, Iván Velasco, Ángel Viedas, y Jesús González, they have the same scores of 80 to 71. 80-71 coinciden en sus tarjetas. For your winner by the way of unanimous decision, su ganador por la vía de la decisión unánime, Monterrey, Nuevo León presente, Alejandro Canito Espinoza.
So Alejandro Espinoza now goes to 11-0 in his career. Jesus Osuna, who took the fight on late notice, put on a great example of determination, physicality. Didn't have the tools to get the win, but definitely showed tremendous grit and courage in his performance. So we give a hand to Jesus Osuna. Alejandro Espinoza. Gilberto Mendoza, on the other hand, captures the WBF Mexico title in the super flyweight division. Other impressive performance. Kevin Torres, Brandon Cruz, Kevin Otley, Dylan Miranda, Marco Arroyo, Jose de la Torre, Eric Estrada, all getting wins. So great performance by those guys. And again, in sports, folks, it's all about opportunity that presents itself. And Christopher, these guys did the most they could with it. So folks, I hope you enjoyed it. This is what Tijuana, Baja California is all about. It is a fighting town. It is a town that is renowned for some of the great legendary Tijuana wars. And tonight was certainly no exception, as we had a great night of boxing. A little bit of everything. If you like knockouts, if you like technical fights, we had them all. Christopher, your last thoughts on the fights we saw tonight?
Very good technical fights for the main event and the co-main event, Mr. Alejandro Espinoza and Gilberto Mendoza. Maybe something that we could see in the future bout between those two.
Without a doubt. And those are guys, again, in sports, it's all about the opportunities that are presented to you, and then you have to make the most of it. What you saw in Gilbert Mendoza is a very well-conditioned fighter. He's never gone 10 rounds. He got the chance to go 10 rounds, and he showed that he can rise to the occasion and put on a stellar performance.
Yeah, 10 rounds plus with the time debacle that we had today.
Yes, we did. And then some other names for you to go ahead and keep in your little dossier of talent, future talent. Kevin Torres is another guy to watch. Brandon Cruz, I thought, looked especially effective in the things that he was trying to do. And it was a great night of boxing all the way around. This is grassroots boxing. This is what it's all about. This is where talent gets developed. And it's also a chance for opponents to come in and upset the wheel there, to come in and take on an undefeated fighter. And that's what we got tonight. So boxing at its best from Tijuana. It is a fighting town. And thank you very much for being with us. Until next time, I'm Ben Ricardo with Christopher Martin.